Welcome everybody to the Jim Masters Show Live. How are you and you and you and you? We hope you're having a great weekend. It is Sunday. We're here live worldwide. Now getting ready to enter our 15th week of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. It is pretty cool. It's been a joy. It's been a blessing. It continues to be. And thanks to everybody who's been watching from literally all around the world, all across the United States, Canada. We have viewers in England and Ireland and Scotland and Switzerland and Italy, all of Europe, Australia, Africa, Asia. It's amazing where we hear our viewers are coming from, and you guys are terrific. You're so interactive. We do a lot of viewer interaction on this show as well. I'm your host, Jim Masters. If you are watching for the very first time, well, this is really cool. Welcome to what we call Levity Hall. It is light, levity, and love here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Positivity, inspiration, great guests, on location segments, food, music. We have guests that come in from, a lot of them are my friends from television and music, Broadway, Hollywood, film, movies, science, as well as health and wellness, chefs, sports, you name it. And it's been really, really cool. And then, of course, we do pop-up shows every once in a while, and we do host chat and a lot of cool things. And it's my pleasure to be here with you every single night. Now, if you factor in, we've been doing it for just about 15 weeks now, nightly, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's a lot of shows. Well over 100. We've surpassed the 100 show mark. We're going to have to put together a celebration to mark that. It's been incredible. And I constantly get messages all day long, Facebook messages and Instagram posts and messages and tweets, as well as messages and email and text from viewers and so many people who tell me that they're being inspired by this show and they love it. And that's really, really cool. Great guests last night, Ann and Randy Dorman, music industry legends who worked for some 40 years with Kenny Rogers intimately and directly. And they're big with artist development and worked with a lot of incredible folks in the musical world. They're there in the Nashville area. They were terrific. They absolutely loved the conversation last night. Matter of fact, I heard from Ann and Randy. They sent this wonderful note last night and this morning, actually, and it was really, really cool. So many incredible guests. If you want to see any of the shows in the series and any of the past episodes, all you have to do is go to YouTube and go to Jim Masters TV. Matter of fact, give the page some love, some levity, subscribe. We would love that as well at Jim Masters TV. Click the notification bell so you're updated when we do updates, as well as more episodes and other content that's on that page as well, like Masters Mantras. These are these sort of almost daily inspirational videos we do, and some of my other professional TV work is on there. But the entire 15 weeks of episodes of the Jim Masters Show Live series is all available for you on YouTube. So all you have to do is go to YouTube and check that out. It's really, really cool that you have the opportunity to do that these days. And we welcome everybody. Of course, we toast our audience here at the show. So we toast you and you and you and you. Hope you have your nice beverage of choice. We welcome you wherever you're watching around the world. It's good to have you here. Yeah, all the friends are here. We got the cast of characters. Again, we did that Nostalgic Week, and everybody has fallen in love with these characters. George Burns is here, and he greets you. He says hello wherever you're watching around the world. He sees all of you. He's all decked out. He's got his cigar. He's ready to go. He's here. And some amazing guests we have coming up, too. Tonight we have, of course, CUNIO, who is an incredible actor and singer. He's a dancer. He's a recording artist. He's really a one-man band when it comes to being an entertainer. And for many years, you may recognize him from Under the Street Lamp. And that's where we met when I interviewed him on public television in New York, as well as in Connecticut on public television during the broadcasts of Under the Street Lamp. And you may remember his buddy and mine, Sean Wiley, was on just a couple weeks ago, also from originally Under the Street Lamp and still with Under the Street Lamp as well. And that was a great conversation with Sean. We loved having him on as well. So CUNIO is on with us tonight. Tell all your friends. Jeannie's here. She's in the bottle. She greets all of you guys as well. I know you love all these characters that we sort of morphed into the show when we did the Nostalgic Week, and you want to keep all these characters on the show, so we're doing that. Of course, the Silver Lab, Silver is here. We got him when we were on a TV shoot in Europe. He comes from Switzerland. He sees all of you. He greets all of you. He hopes you're having a good Sunday. And if you're watching this in the archives, it might not be Sunday, but we're just glad you tuned in and watching. Good to have you with us. And spread the word. Tell everybody we're here nightly. We have incredible shows, sometimes really deep conversations with people, lots of laughs, lots of levity, and lots of surprises too. Jimmy is here. Jimmy greets you. He says hello. Again, he's a friendly clown. You don't have to worry. He's not a clown that's mean. I know some people are afraid of clowns. He's a good-natured clown. He was a childhood toy, actually, made of porcelain, and we held on to him, and there he is. He greets all of you, and he welcomes you to the Jim Master Show Live. I tell you, big production value here, huh? Wouldn't you say? We go Hollywood with lights, camera, and action, too. So here we go. Lights, camera, action. The Jim Master Show Live is about to begin, and we welcome you. Again, all these things off the walls of the house, which is amazing. How's everybody doing? We'll greet some of the viewers from around the world, and then we will welcome my very special guest as well. He, of course, like all of our guests, he's in our green room right now, and he's enjoying the finest champagne and lobster and chocolates and great cheeses from around the world. We always, pile on the elegance and the good stuff for our guests. So that's what CUNIO is doing right now. Maybe not. You'll have to believe us. That's right. It's theater of the mind. Linda in Florida, watching your show, Mr. Lovety. Yeah, you guys deemed me Mr. Lovety. We talk about light, levity, and love, and then I sort of accidentally said the word levity, and everybody's fallen in love with that word, and that's really cool. We sort of coined it as part of our show here. Good to see you in Florida, Christine, and Linda, and Christine in North Carolina. And you've been having a lot of storms, right, and power issues. And we've had a little funky stuff going on today. Power went in and out about 3 times. Internet went in and out about 3 times. Welcome to this crazy year of 2020. Good evening, Jim, and all the loveties, and welcome to all those tuning in for the first time. You're watching on the YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Good to see you there in North Carolina. Willie is here. Willie is watching in the Netherlands. She's here every night religiously. There's your flowers, Willie. She's also been our viewer of the week. That's right, and we're going to announce later in the show our new viewer of the week as well, so stay tuned for that. Hello, Jim. Nice to see you and all of the other Jim fans. That's nice. Good to see you there in Holland. It is after 1 a.m. in Holland, and Willie takes naps, so she doesn't miss our show at 1 o'clock in the morning in Holland. She could watch in the archives, but she doesn't want to miss the live action, so she's here. Sometimes she stays up all day just so she can watch this show. We appreciate that. I would like to thank all of the other fans for watching the Jim Masters Show with me. It gives me a family feeling. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. We're all in this together. Love to everybody, right? There's your tulips as well, and your cheers. Really, really cool. Merlin in Innerkip, Ontario, Canada. Hey, how's it going? Sure cool down here. Feels great. I know you guys, you were having sort of a heat wave, right? Heat wave there. No nap for you in Holland, Willie. Too much bad weather. I guess the thunder and lightning keeping you up. Hi, Willie. Put your crown on. That's right. You've got that crown of viewer of the week. We celebrate a viewer each week as well. And Christine Fairwood is here in Connecticut with that crown as well. And Jennifer Barry is here. Good to see you, Jennifer. Jen likes to be zen. She says she gets very zen on this show. So that's really cool. Love having you here. You're going to be very zen today. We've got some good material, good music, great conversation, levity, and lots more. Good conversation. Hi, Jim and everyone. Happy Sunday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an exciting conversation. Yes, Crystal, good to have you with us. And for the audience's edification, you and I met when I was emceeing the Chicago concert for public television, right? And we were at the Oakdale Theater. That's where we were in Connecticut. And that's where we met. And you took the pictures and everything. You had been watching me for years on PBS, and you wanted to meet, and that was really nice. It was cool meeting you. Renee, hi, everyone. Getting close to having our power back. I know it's amazing you're able to watch us. You guys in Iowa got that rough, was it a Dorico? It's like an inland hurricane that came through and ripped roofs off and took down trees and power lines. Unbelievable. We had that here in the Northeast. You know, the East Coast got that with the tropical storm, Hurricane Isaias. It was really, really crazy. So we got a lot of good comments coming in here. Jennifer Miller, hi, Jim and everyone. Good to see you, Jennifer. And Jacqueline, hi, Jim and everyone. Good to see you. Reno Venturi, have an excellent show. Hey, my friend Reno, good to see you as well. Good stuff. Good to see everybody and all those that joined throughout the show as well. Want to get ready to welcome my great friend. We've known each other for years. And when I asked him if he would like to pop on the show as a guest, he said, absolutely. He said, you just tell me when and the details, and let's schedule it. And that's exactly what happened. This is CUNIO. You may remember him as Michael Cunio, but he goes by CUNIO, described as the spawn of Freddie Mercury and Janis Joplin. He's performed all over the world as a featured vocalist, MC for Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox. His debut collaboration was a Queen-inspired cover of the vocalist video Killed the Radio Star, which actually has received over 1 million views on YouTube. That is unbelievable. He gained national attention, of course, as the electrifying wailer in the PBS retro rock group Under the Street Lamp. Of course, you know them for a long time as well. And of course, affiliation prior to that with Jersey Boys as well. And his gloriously gritty solo album, Back Alley Soul. It's fantastic if you haven't heard it. Debuted at number 6 on iTunes, the R&B soul charts. And that's what he is. He's all about soul. He really is a very heart-centric guy when he performs. And it gets the audience really, really engaged. You know, kind of like I like to do as a host. He does that with his audience as well. 2019, CUNIO joined the popular circus Teatro Zinzanni as their first male chanteuse, filling in a role previously held by musical icons, including Ann Wilson, Liv Warfield, Joan Baez, Thelma Houston. He's a resident vocalist for Drama Desk award-winning dance company as well, and most recently as the White Rabbit in their record-breaking production, Queen of Hearts, and semi-annually as Gethsemane and Nutcracker Rouge. Stage roles have included Jesus Christ Superstar roles as well with the Lyric Opera of Chicago, Jersey Boys National Tour where he was Tommy DeVito, Corny Collins, Hairspray on Broadway, and he's Ovation Award winner for Reefer Madness, the world premiere. Regionally, he starred at the American Repertory Theater, Arkansas Rep, North Shore Music Theater, the Kennedy Center as well. And CUNIO is also sought after MC and a fixture at New York City's burlesque and nightlife scene, regularly appearing at Duane Park, The Box, The Slipper Room, House of Yes, and with Dances of Vice. And that's just the short list, folks. He's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of energy, and he's got a lot of passion. And we're so excited to have him here on the show. Yes, it was really cool meeting you as well when we were doing Chicago. And that was they're a great band as well. So we're going to welcome my friend CUNIO to the show. We're going to have a great conversation. He's at his apartment in New York City. Good to have you with us, my friend. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm well. It's great to be here. Thank you. It's nice to have something to do on a Sunday night. That's funny. I feel like I've been retired for the last 5 months, and you're out here working harder than anybody. I can't believe it. Just you do this every single night. That's astonishing.
Sometimes I look in the mirror and I say the same thing. Did I sign up for every 7 nights a week with this? But it's been great.
The whole entertainment industry is unemployed for the foreseeable future, but you're out here just killing it. So congratulations to you, and way to take advantage of an unfortunate situation and make something positive out of it.
Yeah, I like to do that, and I know you like to do that as well. And we're entering our 15th week of doing this entertainment lifestyle talk show series, CUNIO. And it's really, when I asked you if you wanted to come on, you immediately said absolutely. And because we've known each other for a long time, initially meeting, in the studios of public television through the auspices of Under the Street Lamp.
That's right. Without aging anybody, I want to say that was at least 7 or 8 years ago.
At least, yeah. We'll keep it at that, right?
That's all anybody needs to know.
That's it. 7 or 8 years ago. It was a couple of years ago.
And we were still 21.
Still 21. Exactly. So how have you been through all of this craziness and, pandemics and economic nonsense and all this.
I'll be honest, it's been, sort of a teeter-totter between just soul-crushing despair and where's my White Claw?
Right.
One or the other.
Right.
But, hi. I'm catching some of these comments. Hi, everybody. Hi, Willie.
Willie in Holland, yeah, and Merlin in Canada.
But no, this is obviously just an unprecedented experience for anybody in our lifetimes. We've certainly never lived through any wars or experiences like the pandemic, and it's been, I think for myself, I can say just the uncertainty, the not knowing of what the future looks like, especially for live entertainers,
right,
is certainly terrifying and certainly scary. But I do think there is, to sort of piggyback on what you were saying at the beginning of the program about positivity and levity and light, I think there is an opportunity to just, practice looking for the silver lining, practice, trying to attract the positivity that you can, make the most out of the situation that we find ourselves in, and be mindful about how we navigate in this current moment. And hopefully that there is I was talking to a friend of mine, and the way that I sort of think about it is, if everything is relative, right? If there's going to be hot, there has to be cold. If you can't, before you know up, you have to know down. And I feel like if all things being relative, if there's a pendulum, so to speak, well, it's been swung to one direction for a long time, and I want to believe that, for all the bad news that we've been navigating in the midst of lately, eventually the pendulum has to swing the other way. And I think we're overdue for some good news, but I do choose to believe that it's out there and it's coming.
Absolutely. So what are some of the things you've been doing? Have you been creating? Have you been trying to stay?
Drinking. Yeah, a lot of alcohol.
Yeah, that too. Oh, matter of fact, we got to do a toast.
A toast. Cheers. I'm glad I came
to welcome you to the show.
Cheers to you and all who might be listening, and whoever has a beverage.
Mm-hmm. So have you been doing different things to try to stay busy, staying connected with people? And
I'll be honest, it's been a struggle, and I think initially when this all unfolded, there's obviously a great deal of uncertainty and a lot of misinformation, and trying to just, again, having never experienced anything like this before, I think initially it was, let's just hunker down and see what comes to pass and see how long it lasts. I think, whether naively or not, I think initially, so to give a little context, I was on tour with the band Postmodern Jukebox.
With a ton of dates too.
Right in the middle of all of this. And we had been playing, we were coming out of a string of dates in Florida and in South Carolina, and we played a show on March 10th. And that evening after the show, we got the call saying that they were going to be responsible and cancel the dates. We didn't want to put our audience at risk, having people congregate. Obviously, we know that's a problem with an airborne virus like this. And so on the 10th, we found out that our tour was canceled. On the 11th, we all got sent home. And on the 12th was pretty much when we found out it was going to be time to lock down. And, at least for those of us on the East Coast, as we were talking, here in New York especially, they were quite proactive about it. For as much as we were the epicenter in the States for a long time, I think people really did a very good job of being mindful, of being socially responsible, of staying at home, wearing the mask and all that stuff. And we are certainly seeing things improve here, but there's still just sort of no end in sight, in terms of just how America at large has handled this issue, or not handled, I should say. It's the scariest thing about all of this for me has just been not knowing when we can go back to work. Is it going to be next spring? Is it going to be a year from now? Is it going to be, the latest rumors that I've heard from within the entertainment touring industry is, at best, hopefully fall of next year. And,
so not even spring, huh?
Yeah. So, and, who knows? Like I said, I'm always, if my eyes are peeled for that miracle, my eyes are peeled for that breakthrough or that vaccine or whatever it is. And, who knows if, when, and how that will unfold. But things being what they are, I think realistically it's going to be a while. And I will say, I, like many people, especially in our business, I was extremely depressed. For me, this was going to be sort of my breakout year. I had, I think in 52 weeks, I think 4 of them were going to be spent at home in New York. That's how booked I was. That's how much work I had lined up. And so, of course, in this industry, as you well know, it's feast or famine, and you take the work where and when you can. So to have a year like that to look forward to, I was very excited and obviously very depressed to see that all of that had essentially been canceled. But now, now that we've sort of gotten into a pandemic routine, I'm starting to find my own ways to stay motivated and to get creative and to get back into, I know we can't go to the Greek theater and play a live show for 5,000 people the way that we used to. But now I'm, investigating things like recording remotely and thinking about putting together a Christmas album, hopefully to be released this year. And, finding different ways to still honor my talents and my skills and use the gifts that I've been given and try to not walk away from the pandemic experience having done absolutely nothing. But, socially, just on my own, I love to cook. I love to bake. So in the interim, there's been a lot of weight gained and a lot of pies made. So that's one of the ways I've been dealing with.
Well, I've been saying, they say 6 feet from each other and 10 feet away from the refrigerator. That's what you got to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been more like living inside of the refrigerator.
Exactly. Let's go back in time a little bit to the early beginnings of CUNIO. Were you raised in an entertainment setting with your family, or were you the one who was sort of the breakout child?
It's funny. You're one of the first people that's ever asked me about, the early years. And I started singing professionally when I was 6 years old. I had a music teacher in first grade in Renton, Washington, where I grew up, just 20 minutes south of Seattle. And that music teacher thought that I had something, had a gift. And he put me in touch with an organization called the Northwest Boy Choir, and I auditioned and I was welcomed into that organization. And I have to say, I credit that with that experience being in the boy choir, and particularly working under the artistic direction of a gentleman named Joseph Kranko. I credit him with giving me the keys to my career, as I like to say. I was involved with them till I was 17 years old, so almost 11 years. And I went from having an instrument and having no understanding about how to use it. We used to joke, pitch to me was something they did in baseball. I would sing an entire song completely out of tune and have no idea anything was amiss. And through my experiences working with that organization, it was similar to something like the Harlem Boys Choir, the Vienna Boys Choir. We rehearsed twice a week, 52 weeks a year. 2 weeks out of the year, we would be in an intensive music summer camp program every year. And as well, we would tour all over the world. By the time I was 11, I'd been to Australia. I'd been to New Zealand. I'd gotten to sing for President Bush's wife. I'd gotten to sing at the National Cathedral in DC. And as a child, these are very, very, it sets a high bar and a very formative experience for me. And fortunately, that experience as a child opened up the avenue of performing as sort of a livelihood and as a calling. And I just never stopped singing. And thankfully, I've, been able to do that, for the rest of my life, for better or for worse. But yeah, for being somebody that most people would call a rock singer or blues singer or somebody, I have a very sort of naturally gritty voice, but my early days of performing were singing Fauré and Mozart. I was a boy soprano, and it all started with the classic and with a very classical background. And fortunately, this the artistic director of this organization, Joe Kranko, he's still there. He was very wise in that he created a group for young adults that wanted to continue to pursue music. So for those of us boys that had started out as children, once our voices changed, we had a place to go and an avenue to continue pursuing our love of music. That was called Vocal Point Seattle. And it was there that I started singing rock music and cover songs. And, we'd be doing Three Dog Night and the Beatles and, Wilson Pickett and the Temptations. And that's really where I discovered my love for pop and rock music and really found my own style as a vocalist. And from there, I moved to LA and, one thing led to another, and I ended up on Broadway and touring, and then PBS, and here sitting in your living room with you today. So
isn't that amazing how it all works out?
Yeah. And
You
considering
went through all of that just to get to my living room? All you had to
That's
do is
right.
pick up the phone.
Well, listen, and now you and all of your fabulous viewers are in my bedroom. So I don't know what that says about me, but I'm glad to have you here. You're all
We're in
welcome.
CUNIO's bedroom, folks. You have any questions?
My husband doesn't mind, so he knows that I'm being well cared for right now. So.
Refill his glass quickly, stat.
That's right.
So also there was the involvement with Jersey Boys, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us about that. That's really, really cool.
It's kind of a fun story, and I think it's a great, no matter where you're at in your life, what your age, what you do, it's Jersey Boys was something of an unexpected experience for me, because at the time that it came about, I had been I toured the nation with the first national tour, the first national touring company of Hairspray. This is right after it had opened on Broadway in 2003, and shortly after that was asked to join the Broadway company. And so I'd been working on Broadway and Hairspray for many, many years. Started out in the ensemble and ended up getting cast as Corny Collins, one of the lead roles. And I got to a point where when I'd left, I really wanted to just pursue singing original music, writing music, singing with bands. And so I left theater. I had sort of left the business. I started my own rock band, and I decided to go back to school. I became certified as a sommelier, which I joke about, it's just French for alcoholic. Yeah. But I was working in the wine industry, went to school for that, and pursuing sort of a concert singing career as somebody that sings with bands. And while I was working in the wine industry, I got a phone call from a casting agent asking me to come audition for Jersey Boys. And at the time I was going through a pretty nasty breakup, and really had no intention of auditioning for the show, but I needed an excuse to get out of the apartment. I just needed an excuse to get out of the house. And so I ended up going to this Jersey Boys audition, and I only had the sheet music to one song. It was At Last, the famous Etta Jane song. I had just sung it at my brother's wedding. This was in 2006. And so I took this inappropriate song, and I never even printed out the material they had sent me to learn for the audition. I went in completely cold because, again, I had no intentions or expectations of getting hired or doing the show. And lo and behold, 3 days later, they offered me the role of Tommy DeVito, which, if anybody's seen the show, it's just the greatest role in the show. He's the jerk, the bad guy, the villain. And those are the kind of roles that I have the most fun playing. If anybody remembers me from Motocross or the Disney Channel, that was kind of my claim to fame as far as television and film, is playing, just the biggest jerk on the planet. There it is.
There it is.
So I got to do it again with a different accent, with a Jersey accent this time, and ended up getting sent to Chicago for their sit-down production. Their Jersey Boys played in the city of Chicago for about 3 years, and I got to do the last year of that production. And while we were there, the four of us that were playing the four seasons, we would, on our day off, sing at private parties and different Italian festivals. And pretty much, if somebody was opening an envelope and wanted us to be there, we'd show up for it.
Yeah.
And through that experience, I met Sean and Michael and Chris, and we formed Under the Street Lamp. And it just evolved very organically out of this little side project. It was something to do on our days off, an excuse to sing songs that weren't the Four Seasons songs. And a whole series of events occurred, but eventually we ended up at PBS and getting to do what I had left Broadway to do in the first place, which was sing in a band and tour the world and tour the country. And Willie, I gotta say hello to you, especially because we got to spend 6 weeks touring the Netherlands in 2014. It's, to this day, one of my happiest memories as a performer. I just absolutely adored, every city we got to play in Holland, and I'm always desperate to go back to Europe at any chance I have the opportunity, because of our experience touring the Netherlands. And yeah, so we filmed a couple of specials for Under the Street Lamp, and I got to meet fabulous folks like our host here, Jim Masters, and that just opened a whole new career opportunity for me. It opened up a whole bunch of new doors for me, and it is a time that I will just cherish and adore for as long as I live. And the boys and I are still friends and still keep in touch. And yeah, it's just, again, you never know. It was funny because at that time in my life, I thought the last place I would ever end up would be on in another Broadway show. And then when I did Jersey Boys, it just led me to the next most joyful thing in the world, which was Under the Street Lamp. And of course, that opened the doors for me to sing with Postmodern Jukebox and to record my solo album and to do all the other things that I've gotten to do since then. So I'm just so grateful. And, you know, I think it's the kind of experience that I return to when I get sad or depressed about where things are at now in the pandemic, because I have to remember you just never know where the opportunity is going to come from. You never know when it's going to fall into your lap or how. And I think it's a testament to following your bliss, following your joy, do the thing that you love most, and God, the universe, whatever you call it, source, will find a way to provide an opportunity for you to do that. And I believe my career is a testament to that, because
how perfectly you said that. You must be intuitive, that segue about God and the source, because you were also involved in Jesus Christ Superstar.
Indeed. I've played almost every role in that show. It's my favorite show. You know, it's funny, going back to my time with the Northwest Boy Choir, it was interesting when my voice changed and started to change. For if any of you, you know, sang as children, and particularly if you're guys, you know how difficult what a challenge that can be in terms of your identity. You know, when you're a boy soprano and then all of a sudden, you know, your voice changes, it's like your whole identity changes with it. Fortunately for me, my voice never seemed to change. I still have a 4-octave range. I still sing soprano just as well as I sing, you know, tenor or baritone. And fortunately, I've been able to make it work for me from a career standpoint. But the album I discovered during that time was the soundtrack to Jesus Christ Superstar, the motion picture. My mom was a huge fan. Big Catholic family, Italian, you can, you know, connect the dots. So we always grew up, there she is, my beautiful mother. We grew up with Jesus Christ Superstar in our house. And when my voice changed, I really found that I found similarities to both Ted Neely and Carl Anderson vocally. And so they became sort of these spirit guides, if you will, vocally. And I would come home from school every day and sing Heaven on Their Minds and sing Gethsemane and sing, you know, the whole album. And over the course of my life, I remember moving to LA when I was 18 years old, I got cast to play Peter, the guy who denies Jesus. And that was my first experience in the show. And then later, after I had left Street Lamp, one of the first opportunities I had was to play Jesus in a production of it. This is literally today, the 5-year anniversary of our opening night, which is kind of crazy. That was 2015, August 15th. No, I guess today's the 16th. So, but the opening weekend was this weekend, 5 years ago. I got to play Jesus. And then just 2 years ago, I got to play Pilate in the US premiere of the Olivier Award-winning revival that happened in London recently. That was just one of the most phenomenal creative experiences of my life. And to get to do it at the Lyric Opera of Chicago, if anybody's tuning in from the Midwest or from Chicago, you certainly know what an extraordinary venue that is, and just what an extraordinary work they do. And that whole experience for me was just phenomenal. So, you know, the joke is, you know, Judas is the last part that I have to play. Like that'll complete my quartet of
the whole thing.
Having played every role in the show. But I just, you know, I absolutely adore that musical, and I absolutely adore the music. And for somebody with a voice like mine, for those of you that don't know me, it's definitely not a theater voice. It's definitely more of a rock and roll voice. And it's no accident that that's a show that I continue to return to throughout my career. So
when you decided to you know, move forward from Under the Street Lamp, was there any trepidation? Were you nervous at all because you had established that with him?
It was terrifying because, and it wasn't, you know, I think a lot of people think of, like, you know, when bands break up, like, oh, there's a girlfriend, or, oh, there's you know, trouble in paradise, ill will and that sort of thing. And, you know, for me, it was the favorite job that I'd ever had. It was the literally my wildest dreams come true, because I got to live on a bus. We got to wake up in a different city every day. Not everybody's cut out for that. Not everybody wants that or likes that. There's a lot of challenges that come along with that kind of lifestyle. But for whatever reason, I just love it. I love performing live. I love being in front of people, having that immediate response and making that connection to the audience. And one of the fabulous things about a Postmodern Jukebox or an Under the Street Lamp is, we have a lot of freedom to directly engage the audience. It's not like playing a part on stage. You really do get to have a unique, authentic experience that, you're never going to have again night from night to night. It's always different. And so it was very scary for me to step away from that because it was so self-contained. All the work was done for me. All I had to do was learn my parts and show up. But for me, it really was more about, it was a creative decision. I found that because of their success on PBS, because of, the direction that we were sort of headed into, how we became defined, I didn't have the freedom to be as authentic as a musician as I wanted to be. There was, and if you're familiar with,
you have to fit the mold sort of a little bit.
They really do just a bang up job of recreating these sort of 50s and 60s, 40s kind of, retro rock songs and pop music. And I had sort of reached, I'd sort of gone as far as I could go in that songbook, in that sort of what we call the American radio songbook. I'd kind of done as much as I could do within that context. And, I think if anybody here has any artistic pursuit, whether it's baking or floral arrangements or music, the key to your success is expansion. You've got to continue to grow and continue to challenge. You've got to push the envelope. And I sort of had realized I'd push the envelope as far as we were allowed to, given what our market was and who our audience was in that group. And for me to continue to, see what I was capable of and see what I could create and still be authentic to myself, I just realized it had sort of come to a point where it was time for me to, I don't want to say move on, but to move forward. You know what I mean? And that was really what it all boiled down to. And it was very scary because, like I said, they had provided the ultimate platform to do things that, people spend their whole lives. We were on TV. We headlined the Greek Theater, which for those of you that don't know is just a very famous Wolf Trap. We toured all over the world, gotten to see all over the world. And so I was nervous to do that because I still wanted to continue to do those things. And fortunately, again, I think, no matter what the circumstances, if you trust the light that God has put inside of each of us, if you follow the gifts that you've been given, you trust the voice, that sort of calls to all of us at night, then it's a scary thing to do. It's scary to have that kind of faith. But if you do it, ultimately, I find that speaking from my own experience, I've certainly been rewarded in doing so. And it's opened up the opportunity for me to, do things like my album Back Alley Soul, which is very much rooted in, the sort of the classic era of soul music, Memphis inspired soul from the 60s, late 60s, early 70s. If anybody that is familiar with me knows that, my biggest influences are Mavis Staples, Etta James, contemporaries like Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings. And I really do embrace the American sort of folk blues soul tradition that was born out of the American South. And, for me to be able to really pursue that and share my love of that kind of music, it was essential that I do that through a different avenue. And ultimately that's what led to me joining Postmodern Jukebox. And that's what's opened up so many of these other opportunities. And as an MC, as a nightlife performer in New York City, there were a number of years that I was really just barely getting through day to day financially, barely able to pay my rent. But in those experiences, working in burlesque, working as an MC, it really taught me so much about how to connect to an audience, how to be authentic, how to be myself, and to present this music, all these different styles of music that I love in a way that felt cohesive and has opened the doors to the things that I've been able to do now. And, I'm just I'm a grunt, to use a military term. I'm a soldier. I'm just a workaday music. I'm not famous. I'm not nobody, I've done a few things that I can sort of point to and be proud of, but, nobody knows who I am walking down the street. I'm not Beyonce or Justin Timberlake. And, for me, none of that matters. Like to have the privilege to get to sing every day, to get to perform music that makes me happy and hopefully makes other people happy, and find these avenues that I can be supported and do that and not be famous, I think is something that I'm really proud of, you know.
I don't know about not so famous. Let's see. Under the Street Lamp, Jersey Boys,
You know,
Jesus
that's
Christ Superstar,
the point, is to have the
Postmodern.
opportunity. It's not, you
Yeah.
know, for me, it's like that's sure, we all want to be on the cover of Rolling Stone, and we all would, you know, I'd love to have.
That's not why you do what you do. You do it. You love.
Exactly.
You have a love. Talking about Postmodern Jukebox, let's talk a little bit about that, because that's been fantastic. How did that develop? That opportunity?
So interestingly enough, and this dovetails back to, again, I was so impressed, because we haven't really talked, you and I, about you know, the positivity thing and mentality and levity and love, and you know, to hear you mention all of those things in your opening sort of welcome to the show, we're very much kindred spirits there, and I do believe that
We've always talked about concert tickets, DVDs, mugs, and tote bags.
exactly all the BS, right? All the nonsense. We're shilling for somebody trying to, you know, make a dime. But really, you know, so much about this life is if you can see it, you can be it, you know. And if you look for the good things in your life, more good things in your life are going to show up, you know. If you focus on the positive will continue to happen. It's like if you have a crappy day, you know, you spill your coffee on yourself, and then you stub your toe on the coffee table, and then you're running late for work, and then you miss your bus. And when you look at negative things, when bad things happen and you focus on them, more bad things happen. And the opposite is true. When you look for the blessings in your life and the good things, if you focus on those things, the world is going to give you more good things to focus on. And that's exactly how Postmodern Jukebox happened for me. I had, while I was doing Street Lamp, started working at this burlesque supper club, very high end, sort of a Moulin Rouge styled, old kind of entertainment, you know, live band, you know, 4-course meal. Everybody shows up in tuxes and gowns, and I'm sort of the Frank Sinatra, the Dean Martin hosting, singing, and these beautiful girls doing these very, you know, Gypsy Rose Lee sort of dances. And I became very close with my band, who I met just as a result of, you know, being put together at this venue. And there's just a brilliant musician, music director, arranger, piano player. His name is Jesse Elder. And he and I met and became friends and became creative partners working at this venue, Duane Park, and performed together, you know, 2-3 times a week for 50 weeks a year for a good 3 or 4 years. He had gotten picked up, somehow found his way into Postmodern Jukebox. They hired him to just play piano, you know, just be a sideman in the band, right. And eventually ended up becoming the artistic director for the entire organization. He's Scott Bradley's right-hand man and responsible for rehearsing all the tours, rehearsing all the bands. And for those of you familiar, it's just, they have a huge platform. There's a million different singers, and at any given time, in the normal days, there'd be 2 or 3 or 4 different tours out all over the world. And, you know, one of the things that they've done as a brand that is so brilliant is they work with so many uniquely talented and different kinds of singers that they can do that. They have enough of a talent, you know, force that they can put together 3 or 4 different bands with different musicians, different singers, and you know that the quality is just going to be out of this world. And obviously they do the videos every week, which is how people know about them. YouTube is their over 1 billion views on YouTube. Well, anyway, Jesse Elder was the musical arranger and sort of co-producer for my solo album, Back Alley Soul. And that was born out of our relationship working together at Duane Park. And, you know, we work with just the greatest musicians, and we had the greatest, you know, when you work with the same musicians night after night after night for years on end, you really develop a shorthand. You really know how to trust each other. And we put this album together, and from there he ended up going to work with PMJ. And then eventually at a rehearsal or something, Jesse played a clip of me singing for Scott, you know, the founder of Postmodern Jukebox, and Scott was like, yeah, get this guy on tour. And before I'd ever done a video, before anybody knew who I was, this was 2018, this was the winter of 2018, they sent me to Europe, and they threw me to the fire, you know, threw me to the lion's den, and I just got, you know, kind of thrown into the mix and was the MC and featured vocalist and got to tour all over Europe, and I just had the time of my life. And, you know, shortly after that, I finally got to do a couple of videos with them and, you know, 3 more tours. It's been a beautiful thing because the last 3 years in a row, I've spent my birthday on tour with PMJ. The first year I was in Ireland. The second year I was in Canada. Last year I was in Nashville. And it's just been, sort of a continuation of where I left off with Under the Street Lamp, getting to live on the bus, getting to play for fantastic crowds of people, getting to sing live every night, getting to wake up in a different city and see the world. It's just been the ultimate blessing. And I really do look forward to the days when we can return to live, concerts and live events again, because it really is, for me at least, I've been finding a lot of joy in my bottles of wine and pie, but nothing brings me more joy than getting to share music with a group of strangers. And I miss being able to do that. And I look forward to the days when we can do it again,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And those days will come as long as we are smart and do what we're supposed to do and come together and all be on the same page.
I know it sucks, but wear a mask,
Wear the mask,
you can put on a mask. It's not that hard.
That's right. If you wear the seatbelt, right.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's like people drive on the freeway, you stay in your lane, right? Like it's
and what about going into a restaurant?
Your rights away by asking you to, behave responsibly. That's all.
No shirt, no shoes, no service.
Exactly. You don't get on.
Nobody has a problem with that.
On. Right. It's just common sense. It's protect each other, protect yourself. Anyway, because if the sooner people in our country, at least, understand that it's not a personal attack, the sooner we can go back to having football and hot dogs and live concerts.
That's right. Exactly right. Exactly. Anyway. Live concerts. That's right. All the Americana, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'll bring the apple pie because I've gotten real good at baking them.
That's it. We have a clip here Under the Street Lamp. Actually, we're going to share that you were generous enough to send along some clips.
So yeah, pardon the audio quality, but in this time of not being able to have live experience, I figured we could share some clips of live performances and kind of at least replicate it a little bit. So hopefully you enjoy it.
Exactly. Here we go. A little Under the Street Lamp and CUNIO.
Dallas Cowboys. Go Seahawks, Jennifer.
and we'll be back. We'll discuss, and we have lots more music for you here coming up on the Jim Master Show Live. Here we go. Enjoy, everybody.
Oh, darling, please believe me. I never do you no harm. I'll never do you no harm. No, darling.
Cool stuff. Really,
Oh,
really
man.
nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I miss that. I
Yeah.
miss getting to just let it cut loose and wail in front of the people. That was a really special. That was from a really special concert. That was the night that we got to headline the Greek Theater, and that's, like I said, just such an extraordinary, storied historical venue. But when I lived in LA, the place I would go to see concerts all the time, and getting to be on that stage that night was just, there aren't words. It was just truly phenomenal. So much fun. Yeah, true highlight of my career. For sure. Glad somebody got a video of it.
Right, exactly. There's always somebody these days, right, with cell phones and everything.
One thing about live performances, right, is you leave it behind every night. You never really. Hopefully, somebody out there is taking a video or capturing it, whatever. But yeah, that's the beauty and the thing that makes sharing a live experience with people so special is it only ever happens that night. No matter how well rehearsed you are, every night is different.
We got a question that came in. Even I think it came in from my mother in Florida, actually. What is your? Yeah, she's in Florida watching the family down there. All of them. We love everybody. Hello, everybody. Haven't been able to go down there to see the family down there either because of the flights. You've had Mother's Day, Father's Day, St. Patrick's Day, Easter, all these holidays passing. Hopefully, we'll be able to. Everybody will get together soon. We've got family all over the country and family.
You and I, we're on the East Coast, but we don't have beaches like they do in Florida. And man, this has been a long summer without a beach, I certainly miss it. That's for sure.
Ocean lovers. Absolutely. So, when you think about that, the question was, I think that she asked, what is your favorite music for you that you like to sing?
For me, it really is. And I think that's Oh Darling is kind of a nod to that. I love the soul music. I love the blues music, and because I have such, I'm sure you could tell, I have such a raspy, crunchy, it's a lot of people like, why are you screaming all the time, blah, blah, blah. But I just, I grew up listening. One of the first singers I ever sang along with was Percy Sledge, When a Man Loves a Woman. And I've always identified with the James Browns and the Wilson Pickett's, these sort of shout, scream singers. And I love the grit. I love the passion. I love, it all comes from down here. There's an expression we have in music that I'm going to spare your viewers from using, but you really sing from, that part of you. And for me, it's the rhythms, the ancestry, the history of soul music. I know it all comes from blues and from roots music, from the
lower 48.
Yeah, indeed. And for me, that's the music that speaks most passionately to my soul, and that I have the most fun interpreting and paying homage to. I think that's part of why I also, it's interesting because you'd read that quote before and somebody said it, and I think it was high praise and very sweet, but also there's a reason that I'm drawn to a singer like Etta James or Freddie Mercury, because they have this sweetness, this purity, this emotional vulnerability, but then they also have this grit. They have this, crunchy sort of aspect to them. And my voice is capable of, doing both of those things. I've got this sort of real pure, focused sort of falsetto, but then I also have this really gritty, raspy sort of rock voice. And for me, but I love rock and roll. I'm a big, I look at singers like Tina Turner and James Brown.
Somebody mentioned they heard a little Tina Turner-esque in that.
Yeah, and I do a lot of her music on my album Back Alley Soul. One of my favorite songs that I cover is a song of hers called "You Got What You Wanted." It's not a real one of her big hits. It's a song that she wrote and performed with Ike when they were performing together, and I do a version of it that's very much an homage to her. But when I think about a lot of the other singers that I get compared to, because a lot of times I'm hired, and I'm a hired voice, and people tell me the music they want me to sing. So it's a lot of 80s rock music. It's a lot of Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin and Queen. And the funny thing about that is Robert Plant, Steve Tyler, even Freddie Mercury to a degree, they were all emulating these blues and soul singers. They wanted to sound like, Muddy Waters. They wanted to sound like Howlin' Wolf. They wanted to sound like Mavis Staples and Tina Turner. And that's, Well, there was a lot of appropriation. There's a lot of stealing that happened by white artists, particularly, in the 60s and 70s, of Black artists. And, I certainly have to be mindful of that when I'm performing, ultimately, music that is created by Black artists, because you want to do it with respect and understand where that comes from. But, Led Zeppelin, 90% of their career was ripping off these blues singers, these Robert Johnson and Muddy Waters and these people. And, the Stones, the same thing. I think the Stones did a better job of navigating the politics of that, because they were always very quick to acknowledge and aware of who created the art form that they were, manipulating and using for their own gain. And I think to be a popular singer in America, you can't not acknowledge the fact that everything that we sort of call American music ultimately comes from the cotton fields. It's born of slavery, and we owe our musical history to a very painful and unfortunate period of our history. And to be a white performer in that idiom and not be aware of that, I think would be very, very ignorant. So, but that's
another clip.
The music that speaks to you is the music that speaks to you.
And that's, we speak to you, exactly. That's a great answer to that question from Mom. Who's watching, who loves you, and has seen you on Under the Street Lamp and everything else. When I'm on, she has seen you on on public television and elsewhere. There's another one where you're doing it. I think this is an Etta James. Is it All I Could?
Oh, please play that. This is my favorite. So one of the first things I did when I left Street Lamp, because of the attention I had received, because of how well people responded to my take on her music, as I started putting together just a little, like a cabaret act, a concert show that is my tribute to Etta James. It's my homage to her. And basically it's an evening of my favorite of the Etta James canon. And I haven't been able to perform it for a while, just because I've been busy with Postmodern Jukebox and other things, but I have, I've gotten to perform it in Philadelphia, New York, and Chicago, and so I have a show called CUNIO Sings Etta, and this is a clip from that. This is one of the songs that I do in that show. Now, it's funny, just to preview this clip. This video was shot at a rehearsal, and band, this is their first time seeing the chart. If you're really paying attention, you'll notice that I screw up the words at one point. But that said, it was they captured such a beautiful moment that this is one of my favorite songs to share, because even though it was a rehearsal, it came out so well. And I want to give credit to the musicians, the saxophone player, Matt Parker, who is one of my dear, dear friends and favorite collaborators. On the keys is just a truly gifted pianist named David Fauntleroy, and one of the most exciting drummers in the jazz scene today, a guy named Kyle Everett, is on this video. So
cool
you guys are in for a treat here.
I thought it was really well done too. The movement of the camera, it's almost like a quiet, intimate jam session a little bit.
Exactly what it was.
So behind the scenes, like we're being brought in to see you and the guys doing your thing.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
This was a rehearsal. This is actually shot at the venue I was talking about earlier, Duane Park, where I work quite regularly under normal circumstances.
Under normal circumstances.
Yeah. But enjoy this. You're in for a treat.
Here we go. Enjoy, everybody.
I saw my love. was crying.
Yeah, that's a beautiful song.
Took the roof off that one too, huh?
Thank you, thank you. And it was just fun. That was, like I said, a rehearsal, and we were just just learning the tunes, and we just happened to capture that moment. I'm so glad that that Maggie, the person taking the video, was there to do that. So
you must go through boxes of throat lozenges each week.
You're not wrong. I have I'm not superstitious, but I do, in spite of the way that it sounds, I've got that very raspy quality. I do vocalize. I warm up. I take very, very good care of my voice.
What are some of the things that you do to make sure that you take care of your voice?
Well, there is a tea tree based throat lozenge that anytime I go on the road, I will make sure to just order, 8 or 9 boxes of, so that I'm never without. And anytime you see me on stage, I'll have one under my tongue. And so far, I've never spit one out on anybody in the audience. But that was a trick that I learned from, apparently Bernadette Peters used to put black jelly beans under her tongue to keep her throat sort of whatever, moisturized, or whatever.
Yeah.
Up, if you will. So I've done that for years and years and years. And it's funny because people are always like, "Oh, your breath smells so good." Well, that's because of the tea tree lozenges. And a lot of times, if people aren't used to them, they're very strong. So if I give them to somebody, they usually sneeze right away, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But no, I have a very specific set routine that I do before my shows. And I put a cork in my mouth, or I'll take a towel and pull my tongue, which allows me to sort of relax the root of my tongue, and that sort of opens up the whole contraption so that I can hit all those high notes and sing the way that I do without injuring myself. One of the things I'm most proud of is I'm dear friends with just a very famous world famous mezzo soprano named Jamie Barton. And she's headlined operas all over the world, the Met, and, anyway. And she came and saw me one night, and she was like, it's so impressive. I'm so impressed because I hear the sounds you're making, but I can also tell that you're making them correctly. And people are always like, are you going to be able to talk in the morning? How do you sing like that? I credit that to my voice teacher, my voice coach, a woman named Katie Agresta. And she's worked with Sting and Bon Jovi and Cyndi Lauper. And she was the one. She's like, do these exercises. They're all opera-based exercises. And the way you do the exercises, not because they necessarily, make your voice better, but they get the instrument lined up in such a way that I can go out, punish myself for 2 hours on stage every night, and then come back and be fine. And I also do a cool down after the shows when I'm being responsible. But, like I said, because I make my living, if I'm not live on stage, I don't make a dime. So I have to be able to do what I do 6-7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. And in good years, like the one that I had last year and was about to have this year, there really wasn't a lot of time to rest. There really wasn't a lot of days off. I envy the people that are famous, the Madonnas and the Katy Perrys and people like that.
They can take a couple months off.
They can go on tour and only play 3 shows a night. With Postmodern Jukebox, there have been, we'll be out on the road for 6 weeks, and we'll be doing sometimes 10 shows in a row without a day off, and you got to be able to give as good on the
like a Broadway play,
as you do on the first night. So, and listen, I have my vices. They're legal in some states. But I do there are certain things I like to smoke and certain things I like to drink, and I certainly live my life and enjoy myself. But yeah, you got to be responsible, and also, for me, I had hair, I lost my hair, I've been skinny, I've been fat, I've been young, I've been old. The thing that I always have is my voice. That's what I have to share with the world. And so for all the things that I
gift and your talent and your instrument,
I gotta honor that and take care of that. So it does. It's people make fun of me because I'll be backstage with the cork in my mouth for 3 hours before a show, and it's like, we've been in some of these beautiful.
Is that with the wine bottle still attached to it, or?
No, that's typically reserved for after the show. But yeah, no, people will be in some beautiful place in Europe, and people are touring castles, and I'll be, in the dressing room with the cork in my mouth. because that's what works for me, so.
Right. Do you preserve your voice? Like I have some friends that are singers as well, some operatic and otherwise, and they won't talk a lot the day before a major show. They just won't strain their voice. They won't go out when it's really, 10 below zero, cold.
The thing that I notice, and because, I've been lucky in that it's not just my voice, but like my ability to be an MC and to host and to sort of keep a conversation going with an audience that isn't talking back to you. When I go tour, that's the stuff that's the hardest on my voice. The talking takes a much bigger toll than the singing, actually. And the one thing that I do have to be mindful of, you certainly understand. But the one thing that I try to avoid is, bars, loud environments. It's like, it's nice to go out to a bar, have a glass of wine, get some French fries or, a burger after a show or whatever. But if it's a particularly strenuous week, if you're doing 10 shows in a week, or sometimes like we find ourselves, that's the stuff I'll try to avoid. I'll hang out and I'll still have a glass of wine and, chill out on the bus where it's a little quieter, but I'll try to avoid the bars. But otherwise, no, this is a craft as much as anything. And, I work hard and I play hard. So I do like to socialize and go out and live my life. And again, the reason I feel like I've been able to get away with doing that is because I take it seriously, on the daily, every day before a show. I do the warm-ups and I try to be responsible in that regard, so that when I can have fun, I can actually have fun. So
Jackie Gleason had the same thought process. He worked hard and then he enjoyed himself.
Yeah. Life is too short not to. It can't always be one thing, or you gotta.
As this year has certainly demonstrated for all of us how short things can be and how crazy things can be. You have to enjoy while we're here and count our blessings and enjoy the fruits of your labor. Life shouldn't just be about the labor. And then, we're living in this society where everything is next. We don't take time to breathe and appreciate what we just did, or what we just saw, or what we just heard, or what we just tasted. I'm very big about that. I've always been somebody who's, even in this crazy busy industry that we're in, I've always been somebody who's tried, however, to carve out that time to appreciate what just happened and what we saw and what we did and what we accomplished. Because what are we doing it all for if we don't have time to relish in some of the effort, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you're really spot on. And that's something, especially, this applies to other aspects of life too. It's like to remember, before the pandemic, I would go to the gym because I had costumes I had to fit into, and it was an obligation. I always hated it. And when that was taken away from us, it was like, oh man, I actually, when I can go to a gym again, I'm going to make a point to truly appreciate it. Same thing with a good meal. So often we're just cramming fast food down our throats, trying to get from point A to point B. I think a lot of the issues that I personally struggle with in terms of my weight, and I do struggle with it, it's a difference between mindfully approaching, whether it's eating or, relaxation or whatever it is, your work. I think when we take the time to be present in the moment, it really changes things. It really makes a difference. And that's something for me that I don't think of it as a spiritual practice per se, but in the last few years, I got hip to meditation and just, learning how to put aside 10 or 15 minutes a day, not to try to accomplish anything, not to have a mantra, or not to go to have some whatever sort of experience, but to just shut up, close your eyes, focus on your breath for a few minutes. And it's amazing how much just doing that, if you call that meditating, how much that'll just kind of slow your thoughts down a little bit and allow you to, if you can set aside 10 or 15 minutes a day to just breathe and to just be quiet, it makes the rest of, your day just come alive in a different way. And I don't think anything changes. I think it's just your appreciation of it that changes. So.
Right. We all need to reboot and if we have to reboot our modems and laptops and TVs and cell phones and everything else, we have to reboot every once in a while and recharge and refresh and replenish just as much as we do for sometimes we do it more quicker for our electronics than we do it for ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, think about it. I mean, if I spend as much time worrying about my own mental well-being as I worried about my phone being charged, I'd be the happiest, most successful person on the planet. You just taught me something in that. Like I hadn't thought about it until just this moment. And you're absolutely right in that analogy.
Well, another thing that I was mentioning to people too is we've been sort of social distancing already before we were forced to have to social distance for the good of our society, because we had our heads stuck in our cell phones all the time.
Absolutely.
And we weren't listening to each other. Nobody was listening. Everything was divisive. We were all arguing and yelling, and nobody, it's all about the buzz and the bling and not, things that are real and that mean something. And now that we have to social distance, nobody likes it. So we had a taste of it, but I think we were starting to do it. We were starting to do it already.
It's so funny, because how many times that you would be having dinner with friends or out, at a bar or club and instead of spending the time catching up with your friends, staring at your phone. I know I'm certainly guilty of that. And boy, what I would give to have those moments with friends, what I would give to have that right now instead of just being in my apartment alone with my phone, So Laurel Lee Davis, oh my God.
Yeah, she just got the alert that you're on my show. She's with Sean Wiley a few weeks ago. Welcome, Laura Lee, on the Jim
Love
Master.
to you and your mom. Say hi. I say hi, and I just appreciate all the support, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah.
And while you're there, give a subscribe to our YouTube channel. We love that.
Yeah. And one thing that since we have the opportunity to plug things, I do have an album available. It's called Back Alley Soul. If you like the style of music that you've heard me perform tonight, it's all there. It's on iTunes. It's cheap. It's $9.
Wow, that's a deal.
If you don't have it, check it out. It's all cover songs. It's all music that you'll love by everybody from Amy Winehouse and Led Zeppelin to, James Brown and Etta James. So definitely, if you haven't heard it, check it out.
We have more music here too.
This is
Postmodern. This is from the tour, right?
Yeah, this is from a tour last year. We were in actually Boise, Idaho. This is the last night of our tour, and just one of my favorite songs to sing. As Jim mentioned earlier, I get compared to Freddie Mercury from time to time, and I think you'll see why with this arrangement of this song here.
All right, here we go. This is with Postmodern Jukebox tour. Enjoy, everybody. We'll be right back. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live with Jim Masters. CUNIO, my special guest. Here we go.
I heard you on the rise back in 52. Lying awake, intently tuning in on you. If I was young, it didn't stop you coming through. They took the credit for your second symphony, rewritten by machine on new technology. And now I understand the problems you can see. I met your children. What did you kill the radio star? Kill the radio star. Pictures came and broke your heart. Pictures came and broke your heart. And now we meet in an abandoned studio. We hear the play, and it seems so long ago. And you remember the jingles you threw go. You were the first one. On YouTube Star. Love it when they
rolled over to another preview there, but that was awesome. I mean, you really, I tell you, you do hear elements of Freddie Mercury and that Janis Joplin combo that they talk about when they do the reviews. You give it your all. I mean, I've always known that about you, and I've always thought that you were sort of, even when, you know, we'd be in the television studio and I'd be interviewing you with Under the Street Lamp, I always just felt that there was some sort of a breakout and just in your sound and your style that needed to be uniquely you.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And
yeah,
I do have, you know, there's an expression that I just refer to for myself. And I think, you know, one of the nice things about getting to do this kind of work is a lot of times we'll have the opportunity to talk to kids and talk to performing arts, you know, the younger generation coming up. And, you know, one of the things that I always say is you got to leave a little blood on the stage. You know what I mean? You gotta leave a piece of yourself behind. And I think that's why it's important to sort of fill the well and take care of yourself when you're not on stage. But for me, at least, you know I can tell when somebody's bullshitting through a performance or phoning it in, and pardon language, but for myself, that's something I really try to, sorry, there's like dogs at war outside. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
Oh, you're by your window overlooking
my window. But anyway, I do think as you know, it's one of the joys of live performance, and for myself, you know, for me to be at my best, you got to leave a little something behind, you know.
Right.
And I try to do that every time I sing, every time I perform, every time I have the opportunity to share oxygen with a group of people and people that don't necessarily know who I am. I always want to leave a piece of myself behind, you know, on stage, and you know, and it's fun. I think for as the entertainer, being the person on stage, and you got to earn the attention, you know, you got to earn that spotlight, and you know, you do yourselves and your audience a disservice if you are anything less than authentic, and if you don't leave a piece of yourself behind. And yeah, this is, you know, for me, that's music, that's my voice, and I'm so privileged that under the best of times that I get to do that. I just cannot wait till we can all meet at a theater again and do it again, you know. So
we got some more here for everybody.
Oh yeah, this is a popular rock song called Creep. This is not the radio version, so there is an F-bomb in here if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, but and the incredible Dan Peters on guitar, who I became friends with through Under the Street Lamp. He joined me on a show that I did, a series of shows that I did down in Texas, in Fort Worth, at a place called Casa Manana. And this is, I believe this is Creep. I think that's the one I sent you. So.
Everybody's loving it so much. Of course, like I say, you know, on this Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series I launched 15 weeks ago as of tomorrow, there's always something different. I don't like the show to be boxed in where it's the same old, same old. You could watch the show every night and it's something different and something for everybody. And even like with tonight, with having you on, Cunio, so many people are loving this. Fantastic, awesome, dynamite from Danilo in San Diego, Anne in Southern California, awesome. Christine Fairwood in Connecticut, she was going to get dinner, but she can't leave. She's loving it so much. Pamela,
that a girl. You're my kind of gal, Christine.
Mine too. We love it. We like to fill the viewers and fill the audience. Kansas City, Pamela Perkle, fabulous. So glad I clicked in. Jennifer Barry, she's been saying all night she's now zen. She's always zen, which we love. Jennifer Miller, beautiful too. Jim has the best guests. Thank you. I appreciate that. And a lot of them are friends of mine too, like Cunio. I've known him for a long time. And
I did notice somebody had asked about Cunio, and that was, my first name is Michael, and they were said, why not the Michael? And just as an Italian and a Catholic, and getting to being privileged enough to go to private school as a youngster, I was one of like 7 Michaels in any classroom, you know, in the mid 80s. So I've been Cunio since I was in the 1st grade, because it was teachers. It was just easier to identify. And my brothers, I have 3 older brothers, and they're all named after saints as well, and Italian. And it's funny because they all go by Cunio as well. So when we're all together, we have a number system. So I'm, as the youngest, I'm C4. The oldest is C1 or Cunio 1. And it's kind of cute because whenever we correspond, we always correspond with our number. So
it's cool.
For the person asking about that, that's why Cunio is what it is. And it's I know it sounds pretentious, like a Cher or a Madonna or something like that, but honestly, I think I told Jim when he was asking me about it, you know, the only people in my life that address me by my first name are my mom and
mother.
Yeah. So
right, exactly.
So when somebody says Michael, I don't even look. It doesn't even occur to me to turn my head or. Yeah,
and, you know, it works too because it's a standout. You know, like Prince,
it's a cool name.
like
you
Madonna,
know,
you know, the one name thing. It just stands out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and I will say I definitely got lucky in that regard. You know, my name could be like, you know, Humperdinck or you know, something born Smith or whatever, and
something with a lot of
it wouldn't work. So
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Cool stuff. I lucked out with Jim Masters too. I'm the 5th. It goes back to England. My father, all James Masters, the 5th. But
very distinguished and a great entertainment. Like that is a star name, you know.
People think I made it up too. I always get accused. They're like, "You're not really Jim Masters. You're Harvey Lupowitz or something." I'm like, "No, I'm really Jim Masters."
Totally.
And I didn't pick it for television or radio. It's just
it works, right?
The way it fell, you know. When I was
Jennifer, we're from Palermo too. If I remember correctly. Sorry, I just saw a comment. And
yeah.
We are. Cunio is Sicilian. I know there's a town of Cunio spelled with an E instead of an I. That's in northwestern Italy, more in the Piemonte area. But if I understand our history to be correct, we are Sicilian as well. So hey, my sister.
Willie in Holland still with us, and it's like almost 4 o'clock in the morning soon for her. It's 3 o'clock. 67 shows. Yeah, right, exactly. She's been with us for 67 shows every night straight, and for her, the show starts at 1 a.m. live. That's dedication, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, this is funny. Okay, Michael, really enjoying you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
With love. All right, here's the music, folks. Get ready to enjoy. We're going to have a good time with more music from Cunio. And you can call me James. You can call me Jim. You can call me Jimmy. Just don't call me late for supper.
Amen.
That's it. Here we go. Enjoy, everybody.
Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. We shower special. It's so very special. But I'm afraid I know where to go. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I wanna have control. I want perfect body. I want perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. I wish I was special. You're so fucking special. But I'm not crazy. I'm not
My God.
Now we're coming up on the favorite part of the show. This is where I asked the bartender to bring me a beer.
All right, stop the video.
And did the bartender bring you something during that
They
song?
they did. That was one of the one of the things I love about playing that venue is they take very good care of their artists, and the bar is very close to the stage, so it's an
That's right.
easy ask.
That's right. Got to keep those vocal cords liquefied. Absolutely.
You know.
A lot of great comments coming in here. Danilo having a great time watching the show. So special
Thank you, sir.
singing coming from your heart and soul. Jennifer Miller says, wow.
She's got great taste.
Yeah.
All of your fans have excellent taste.
We got some great people following this series all these weeks, and it's just growing and expanding, and I'm really loving this. It's such a blessing doing work that I love. And I'm like you, a communicator, and I like to feed off the energy of others and give it back. And I think that's one of the reasons why you and I always stayed in touch, and Sean and some of the guys from Celtic Thunder and Celtic Woman. There's select people that, you know, we've gone in and out of each other's lives over the years and sort of stayed connected and rooting for each other in our respective areas, which I think is really, really cool. That's rare in this industry, you know?
Well, and I think, you know, as you alluded to, it's like the connection there is the passion, you know, the desire to engage, the desire to communicate, the desire to listen and to share. And you know, I think especially for you, you can't do what you do if you're not genuinely interested in other people. And I think as much as what I do is performative, you know, what I love about it is I love being in a recording studio. I love singing in a vacuum. I love singing for the sake of singing. But to me, there's nothing more special than making music with other people for other people. And that's that element of the desire to communicate, the desire to listen and to learn, and to, you know, it's and when you I think you find people along the road that you can recognize that element. You can recognize that in them, and you're definitely one of those people. And it's no accident that you're so good at what you do and you've had such a successful career being able to do it. So I thank you for having me on the show and including me in the series. You're one of the few people that I know that has taken advantage of an unfortunate situation and found a way to thrive. And for me, at least, that's very inspiring. It's very inspiring.
Appreciate that. Yeah. No, it's a joy to have you on the show, my friend, and join the ranks of what everybody calls, once you're a viewer on this show or you're a guest on the show, you're now part of the Lovities. You're now a Lovity. Yeah.
It's a moniker I will wear with pride. Absolutely.
The Lovities. That's it. Absolutely. Impressive vocal range. CUNIO can sing so many types of music genres. That's true. You really can.
Thank you.
Tackle so many different things. I mean, from 50s and 60s all the way up. It's
that's just, you know, again, it's, I think if as long as you, no matter what you do, like I said before, whether it's gardening or making food or singing, if you do it with love, I think that's the thing that can't be faked. That's the thing that people respond to. And you know, it seems like it's coming across, but I hope if it's not, that it's clear. Like, I love what I do so much, and I really miss the opportunity. Watching some of these live performances has really made me appreciate how much I've missed getting to perform live in these last few months. But, you know, we all just have to keep our heads high and our focused and know that those days they're just around the corner. You know, they whether it's 6 months or 6 years, we will hopefully get to share experiences like that together again sooner than later. So
that's exactly right. Are there kids outside? It sounds like.
Can you hear that? Yeah,
it sounds cute. I mean, you hear dogs and kids. You hear life.
You know, we're doing as so many people are. We've got the sidewalk. All the restaurants are now serving on the sidewalks, and my apartment. Yeah, it's classic New York. We live right above a restaurant, so
that's cool. So whenever you're hungry, sometimes if you're not cooking, you just go downstairs.
You know, it's definitely convenient. That's for sure. Sorry, I'm going to shut the window. Hopefully,
that's cool.
Down some of that.
The sounds of the season. So here's New York. Absolutely, it's great. It sounds, you know, there's nothing more joyful sometimes than the sound of kids giggling and all of that. You know, that can really, we had Randy and Ann Dorman, they're music legends, last night, and they've worked for 40 years with Kenny Rogers and some of the greats. They have a beautiful recording studio in Tennessee. And we were showing clips of their career and music and Kenny Rogers and all these different fantastic things. And one of the things we showed was actually Christmas music.
Oh, cool.
And Randy on guitar. He's a brilliant musician and guitarist. And the comments that were coming in just by hearing right now during this time of everything that we've been going through, suddenly being thrust with joyous Christmas sounds, put everybody in this incredible spirit, and the comments that were coming in were incredible. Like, you know what, I'm going to start pulling out some Christmas music and listening to it now, just because they're looking for ways to feel joy again, right?
I mean, I'm one of those people. I know some people just hate Christmas music, but my background, having started in a classical boy choir, we did a very traditional festival of lessons and carols. That was sort of the foundation of our performance season year after year. So for me, my summers were always spent in July. We'd start learning the Christmas music for the festival of lessons and carols in the holiday season, and I love it. I adore Christmas music, and
I've always loved it.
I'm excited to sort of get to work on this little Christmas album that I'm trying to work out. And that's one of the hard things, is trying to pick your favorite songs, try to narrow down to 10 or 12 tracks that are the best. So
keep me posted on that. I'd love to hear it. And maybe we
can do a holiday version of this down
right. Yeah, that's what's happened. I mean, when everybody comes on the show, they're like, when can I come back?
Yeah, absolutely.
They enjoy it, because it's relaxing and easy, and there's no airs about anything. We just have a good time and celebrate.
You are so kind and so supportive and lovely. Like you really have just an incredible group of fans. And again, I thank you for tuning in and checking me out, because I'm sure most of you didn't know who I was. So it's an honor to be here. It's an honor that you asked me to be a part of it, Jim. I thank you very much.
Pleasure. And I tell you, and he's doing it from his bedroom, folks. He's going the extra mile. He's going the extra mile for us.
This is as sexy as things get during COVID. Come on.
Do it from the bedroom. Exactly. Christine says, enjoy Cunio's comfort during this conversation, sitting relaxed on the floor, loving tonight's show. And I think you have now you're considered now a lovety, because from what I'm seeing here from Christine, she says you are now a lovety. So one of the loveties with all the loveties here on the show. And Willie is saying, and she's still up in Holland, thank you, CUNIO, for this music. Fantastic in her Dutch way. Beautiful. Yes. And they're loving it too. Jennifer's loving it, and everybody watching it. And this is live, but so many more people watch it later. They share the YouTube link. I think I sent you a link too. You can share it with everybody on social media and everything. And all these people watch it on the Jim Masters TV YouTube channel later, because sometimes not everybody's able to be here live.
Sure.
But the views that come later, I'm just dumbfounded. It's a good word. So tell us about this Jesus Christ Superstar, right? What we're going to look at.
And again, and like I have to thank you. Jim had asked if I was going to be able to sing or perform live on this show, and I felt really bad because I just don't have the setup,
the equipment, and
it's living in with all my neighbors and thin walls, and you want to have a
dogs barking,
all that kind of stuff. So I was really disappointed that I wasn't able to do a live performance.
Well, maybe next time we'll have.
Tried to make up for it by choosing live videos of me live in performance. So none of the stuff that you guys are listening to has been edited in any way. Even the Etta James clip, none of that stuff was mixed or mastered. It's all just naked and real. And this is another one of those. This is from a production of Jesus Christ Superstar. And you can tell, obviously, I'm as bald as they come, but they put me in a very big, long, I felt like I kind of looked like a brunette Legolas from Lord of the Rings in this crazy wig. But this is the big number. This is Gethsemane, right before Jesus gets betrayed by Judas and sentenced to death. And I think for me, just a song that I have grown with and sung since I was 18 years old, and it's evolved with me. And this is a song like At Last that I've evolved with and sung for years and years and years, and just always find something new and always find a different way to approach it. And just music, it's Andrew Lloyd Webber. It's not an accident that 50 years later, this is still one of the greatest musicals ever written, and a song that I love to sing. And this was our version of it that we did about 5 years ago. Again, this weekend. This was taken. I think this video was actually shot on what would have been today 5 years ago. So
see, that's why this date was the date you had to be on.
There it is. Absolutely. Yeah.
So. And these might not have been mastered on your end, but now they are officially Jim mastered.
Well done. Well played.
That's it. Comedy, no cover charge. All right, everybody, here we go. Here's more of the incredible music of CUNIO, now in Jesus Christ Superstar. Enjoy.
I only want to say, if there is a way, take this cup away from me, for I don't want to taste its poison. Feel it burn me. I have changed, I'm not as sure as when we started. Then I was inspired. Now I'm sad and tired. Listen, surely I've exceeded expectations. I tried for 3 years, seems like 30. Could you ask as much from any other man? But if I die, see the saga through and do the things you ask of me. Let them hate me, lift me, hurt me, nail me to the tree. I wanna know my God. I wanna know my God. I wanna see my God. I wanna see my God. Why should I die? Would I be more noticed than I ever was before? Would the things I've said and done matter anymore? I'd have to know my Lord. I'd have to know my Lord. I'd have to see my Lord. I'd have to see my Lord. And if I die, what will be my reward? And if I die, what will be my reward? I'd have to know my Lord. I'd have to know my Lord. Why should I die? Why? Can you show me now that I would not be killed in vain? Show me just a little of your omnipresent brain. Show me there's a reason for you wanting me to die. You're far too keen on where and how, but not so hot on why. All right. Just watch me die. See how I
That's amazing. That is absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
That's a fun one. That's one I don't think I'll ever get tired of revisiting, you know. Like the guy who did it in the movie, Ted Neely, I actually got to, when I was 18, I was cast in as Peter. It was the first time doing that show. And I got to do it with Carl Anderson and Ted Neely, who were both, you know, as I mentioned before, big vocal inspirations for me. So that was quite an honor to get to actually work with the guys who inspired me to want to do this. And it's funny because, you know, Jesus, if you go by what they say in the Bible, he was 33 when he died, right? And Ted Neely is out there. He's 70 years old and still hitting those notes and still singing it. So I figure, man, if he can, so can I. So.
Right. And you did. I mean, but you can also see like the passion and your face and your mannerisms, your expressions. I mean, you really take on whatever that moment
vein
is.
I got that vein. It hasn't popped yet. I keep waiting for it just to blow out of my head.
My sister says I have one over here that pops out when I'm angry. She says, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
But you can really absorb the essence of whatever the role is that you're taking on, which I think is really, really cool. You're not just singing the notes, you're becoming the character, and that really adds so much more to the performance, right?
Certainly try. Yeah, thank you for acknowledging that. It's I think as far as acting and all of that stuff goes, any great song is going to have a story to tell, and there's always going to be an element you got to connect with, whatever the story the song is telling, or whatever the emotional what moment that is being had by the person writing the song, the lyrics, all that stuff. I think that's, again, it's what I was saying earlier. I think the audience can smell bullshit, and if you don't really do your best to honor whatever that songwriter is trying to say, or the emotion that person is trying to capture, then you're doing a disservice to your audience, but you're also doing a disservice to yourself as far as what you can project as a performer. And it's easy when you have great music like that, or a great classic story like the Passion of the Christ. It's easy to go there and to get into it, if you have good material. And I don't think I'm a particularly great actor, but I do think that it's important to me to always try to be telling the truth when I'm on stage. And whether that's a silly pop song like Video Killed the Radio Star, or something as dramatic as Gethsemane, or something in between like At Last, I think ultimately it comes down to wanting to do right by the story that's being told. And whether it's through music or through lines on a stage, I think you can always tell when people are being honest with you and when they're faking it or phoning it in. And I always try to be honest.
True. I think more than ever now, people can really figure out when somebody isn't telling the truth and they're not being authentically themselves and not in touch with self.
You want the best way all you have to do is turn on CNN or Fox News or MSNBC. It's like, look at our politicians, and
the yin and the yang just come. It's like,
it's pretty clear when people are lying and telling the truth. And
it's tough for me because I'm a Libra, so we're about balance and harmony. So we want to bring this extreme and that extreme together and work things out.
Yeah, I'm a Libra moon, I think, or a Libra rising, one of them. I know I'm Pisces by birth date, and then the other two are Libra and Leo. And I think that balance is key in all things in life. So.
It really is. And harmony. Absolutely. Great comments coming in here live for folks watching. I'm Jim Masters. You're watching the Jim Masters Show live. We've surpassed well over 100 shows, going into our 15th week nightly at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. Christine says, wow, extremely powerful and phenomenal. Some of your notes were goosebumps.
Thank you.
And great show, an amazing actor. So you're underselling yourself.
Well,
oh my God. Power, range, and feeling. Wow, your voice is awesome. Marsha Lyon has answered the phone. She moved from Connecticut to Massachusetts, but she used to come in, I know, to Hartford and to Connecticut and answer the phones many times in support of Under the Street Lamp and Celtic Thunder and all.
Cool. Thank you for participating in that. I'm sure we've probably been in the same room and not realized it.
Probably been in the studio. Yeah. I know there were certain nights when Under the Street Lamp was on, when Celtic Thunder was on, and some of the others. She would always sign up to be there to get those phone calls.
That's what I would like to do. That's my next dream, is to put together a holiday show for PBS, and maybe this will lead to that. Hopefully
cool.
Get in the room with Marsha answering phones again someday.
That's it. I'll be happy to host it and interview and do all that for you too.
Absolutely. We've got to call Jerry and give him hell.
That's it.
That's it. His case.
That's it. So this is really cool. All the great singers threw themselves into the songs thinking of Judy Garland.
Oh, huge inspiration. In fact, I'll let's see if I can do this here. There is a giant that picture is Judy Garland right there in my bedroom, if you can see it. She's a big inspiration, always one of the greats, no doubt. And I've got a picture of Mavis Staples on the other wall. You can't quite see her. For Christmas one year, I was gifted. I'm a big fan of Mavis Staples, and somebody sent me a signed gold record of hers. That was a very, very cool gift to receive. But yeah, Judy, she is as good as they ever got, as far as I'm concerned. It's a shame about the personal issues she struggled with, but man, what a phenomenal entertainer.
So who else are some of the people that inspired you along the way?
Hands down. Okay, so this was funny. So I was raised, we were very poor growing up, single mom, and 4 kids, and the whole sob story. But I grew up on welfare in a very rough part of town. But my mom, to her credit, found a way to get me into a private school and really prioritized education. And so I was able to go to a school with a lot of people that were really privileged. And that was challenging for me because, coming from, my mom was making our clothes, and you're bringing sack lunches, and everybody you're going to school with is driving a Mercedes. And, for me, I remember at the time thinking the Gap was just the height of fashion. We could never to shop at the Gap, and everybody would shop at the Gap, and I thought they were so lucky. So when it was time for me to graduate from high school, and I was going to this privileged school, and my friends, people I went to school with, were getting cars or getting trips to Mexico as their senior gift. My favorite singer, one of my favorite singers, was Aretha Franklin, and my mom, for my senior graduation gift, got me a CD box set of all of Aretha Franklin's music from the Atlantic studio days. This was after she had been working with, I can't remember. It was Capitol Records. She'd gone from Capitol Records to Atlantic. And when she went to Atlantic Record, that's when she started recording at the Fame Studios in Memphis, which is really where my inspiration comes from, the Stax Records and the Fame Studios down there, and Muscle Shoals, not Memphis.
Oh yeah, Muscle Shoals.
But that's where Never Loved a Man and Respect and these songs that really came to define Aretha Franklin, that's where they were born out of. And similarly with Etta James, with I'd Rather Go Blind and Tell Mama, and the same thing, recorded at Fame Studios in Muscle Shoals. I think Muscle Shoals is actually Alabama, not Tennessee. But anyway, so that CD box set, I always tell people, since I was 18 years old, and I'm years old now, I have, her voice and that music has spent more time next to my brain than just about any other artist. The other big person that I would say that's had the biggest impact on me, and as far as how I chose to move forward in the industry and the kind of music I chose to make and create, is a woman that you may or may not have heard of, not hugely famous, but a woman named Sharon Jones. And she sang with the group. She passed away about, almost 4 years ago now. In fact, many of the people that played in her band, the Dap Kings, play on my album Back Alley Soul. That was all by design. The way that they would record their music live to tape in a very vintage way, it all has inspired the way that I've chosen to record my, the covers that I do, the songs that I do. But above and beyond any other vocalist or performer, Sharon Jones and the Dap Kings is absolutely sort of paved the way for what I thought could be possible for somebody like myself. Her background, she came up later in life. She didn't record her first album until she was 40 years old. She was 64 when she passed away. But, she's, for somebody like myself that's been doing this my whole life, but, I'm not, for better or for worse, famous by any means, but it just shows that you can continue to achieve new heights. You can continue to be relevant and be essential to millions of people that you may never meet. It was Sharon Jones that showed me that, you could be over 30 and still have some place to go in this world, in this career. And so I would say the two of them, Aretha Franklin, Sharon Jones, but then also Mavis Staples, very much so. And very similarly, I think she's done some of the most important work of her career has come since she turned 80. She's been, in her late 70s and 80s, the last 4 or 5 albums, she's become more prolific now than she was at the height of the staple singers in the early 70s, in the late 70s. The kind of the music that most people know her from. She's continued, all these years later, to be just a tremendous force in the music industry and an incredible entertainer. And I'm fortunate that, though I've never gotten to perform with either of those ladies, which was always a dream, I've gotten to see both of them live multiple times, and just so continue to be incredibly inspired by how they use the gifts that God has given them. And Sharon, I know will, when it's my time to go home, we'll be jamming out in the sky. I guarantee you, she's going to be one of the first people I look for in heaven.
Right, exactly. Who voice I always like too, from England, another one that just has always sung from the heart with great soul and a powerful voice, is Shirley Bassey.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, one of my other great loves, passions in life, anybody that knows me personally, I am obsessed with James Bond, all things Bond. And it's funny because I've really been torn because, we've talked about wanting to do a Christmas album. The other album that I really, really want to do is sort of a Memphis soul inspired version of James Bond songs. And one of my very first concerts was Shirley Bassey. I got to see her live on stage in, I want to say 1998 or 99. And just truly, truly a force of nature. What a voice. And to get her hear those songs, to get to hear Diamonds Are Forever and Goldfinger live, to hear, Where Do I Begin and some of the other standards that she recorded,
she's done Beatles material and
Doors, Light My Fire. Like, she's just that voice, like a Judy Garland. It's just
a real standout, right?
It doesn't matter your style, like that's not the style I sing, but man, I still recognize,
respect
yeah.
You're getting votes here for the James Bond. Some people want to see that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So
documentary about the Staple Singers on Netflix. Phenomenal.
I'll have to check that out. There's a great one on HBO called Mavis with an exclamation point that I highly recommend. And there's another Sharon Jones. There's a documentary about her life as well called Miss Sharon Jones, which I think is on Netflix. So if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, check it out. There's also a great documentary called Muscle Shoals that'll
I saw that.
A lot about the Aretha Franklin, the Etta James that I was talking about earlier. So and of course there's my album, which is a tribute to all of those things, Back Alley Soul. Be sure to check it out. And if you want to stay in a
what's the website to go to?
There's michaelcunio.com, but I don't think I've updated in about 5 years, so sorry about that. But if you're on social media, you can follow me on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. It's all at CUNIO4, which if you were here earlier, you know what the 4 stands for, because I'm the youngest of 4 CUNIO boys. But yeah, definitely find me there and let's chat and stay in touch.
I guess that means my mother is 16 because she's the youngest of 16. My mother.
Catholic, Italian, Irish? What's
actually everybody asks that. That side of my father's side
could be Mormon. Families as well.
My father's side is the English, Irish, Catholic side. My mother's side is the English, Swedish, French, Protestant side. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
they're the New England contingent. My father's the New York contingent.
Yeah,
it's really
very sexy genes in that family.
There's a lot of good. Yeah, my mother's grandmother came from Sweden and settled in Boston. Before she came to Sweden, she was actually a princess that lived in a castle. And the castle is still in Gothenburg, Sweden. It's part of the Swedish royal family. My mother's
for real.
Yeah.
So that means you guys are royalty as well. Right? It's in the bloodline.
And then the last name is Masters. So that's right. There's no fake news here.
Yeah. No kidding.
It's cool. Carla's here, and Carla is watching, as she does all the time, from South America, from Brazil. CUNIO is talented and has a great musical background, monsters of soul and rock. She's sending love from Brazil right now.
That's so cool. Hi, Carla. Thank you.
Yes, it's a big family. Yeah, we have relatives from coast to coast, Canada. They settled actually a town in New Brunswick called Kierstead Falls, Kierstead Mountain, that side of the family. It's amazing when you realize the connections you have to family, but you can't go see anybody right now because
that's one thing I would love to do. I haven't done like the DNA genealogy things, but I would love to find out more about.
It could be even more. I know people who have found aspects of themselves that they didn't even know existed in terms of nationalities, which is really, really cool.
Funny quick story. I know we've got to let these people go to bed, especially
this crowd. These people, they do all-nighters.
But sure, people got to eat. But we found out, our family name is CUNIO, and we know that we're Sicilian, and there's I think some English and some German and some Irish in there. But I had been hit up by a casting director not too long ago, asking if I was Hispanic at all or had any Spanish in me. And as far as I knew, I didn't. And I was, had to say, yeah, if it's that kind of a role, I probably should be seen for it. And then a month after that, I was sitting down with my aunt. We were on tour with PMJ, and we were playing in Spokane, Washington, where I have some family. I grew up in Seattle, so my family's spread out all over Washington State. And she had just done one of those things, and she was like, "Yeah, it turns out we have a lot of Spanish in our bloodline." And I just thought that was so cool, and I was so frustrated. I texted that casting director. I was like, "I'm sure it's too late, but turns out we've got some Spanish in the bloodline, so I can play the part." But
So you
never heard from the casting director again. So
it was already done. Going down memory lane, something really cool here that we dug up. Now, you mentioned this. What was it like being in this Disney motocross?
It was
Disney. I mean, how old were you then?
I must have been 6 or 7.
Really? So
If anybody does the math.
yeah, Disney motocross.
No, I think I had to be 18 or 19 years old. And that was so cool, growing up, again, when I was a kid, aging myself a little bit, but the Disney Channel was like a premium channel. You had to
It was a subscription, right?
We never had it at my home, but like I'd go to friends and they'd have it. And the Disney Channel originals are really, that is a special piece of history to be a part of. And yeah, it was one of those things. I had taken French in high school, and they needed somebody to play a French jerk. And I had a terrible French accent, but I obviously made it work well enough for them to hire me. And my brothers are all, obviously I'm the artist in the family, but my brothers are all race motorcycles, race cars, and they do all the really, the guy stuff. And it was really neat because I got to kind of meld these two, my family background and my passion, and got to be on set. We shot in San Diego, which was absolutely gorgeous. And, it's TV money, which is way better than theater money. So that was fun. But yeah, it was a really, really fun, 4-week situation. And, I got to be the jerk. I got to be the villain, which I love. And it's one of these things, it's almost 20 years later. And, it's still one of the things that I get the most recognized for, even bald as I am. People come up to me and be like, "Were you the jerk? You were the bad guy from motocross?" And yeah, I love it. I know a lot of people that
you do something with your eyebrows and they point down, which gives the sinister sort of.
They're built in, it just built into it.
That's it.
You can't have eyebrows like this and not play a bad guy. So, but I do remember my one disappointment. I was very frustrated that, all the bike riding, they had actual motocross guys. And because of my brothers, I know how to ride a motorcycle, and I grew up riding dirt bikes and enjoy it. And I was very disappointed that they wouldn't let the actors ride the bikes. So that was kind of a letdown. But aside from that, it was a really, really fun experience. And I'll never forget, I was, in Chicago for over Thanksgiving. And I guess the movie must have just come out or something. And I was at a mall, ironically in a Gap, as I mentioned before, with some friends of mine, just shopping.
You made it.
Yeah. Well, and I noticed that I was being followed by this gaggle of pre-teenaged girls. And, one of the moms came up to me and they're like, "Who are you? Are you in a boy band? Are you in should I know who you are?" And I was like, "No, I'm in a Disney movie," but it had just come out. And that was my one and only flirtation with celebrity. It was being followed around a Gap trying to buy jeans by a bunch of middle-aged schoolgirls.
But then also there was the Fluffer.
Oh yeah, that was my first big breakout role, and it was a movie I was very, very proud to be associated with. Debbie Harry was in it. There was a woman named Adina Porter, who I was in acting class. She was in it. She's gone on to do very, very big things. If you watch American Horror Story, she's in all the seasons of American Horror Story. And I met my to this day, my very, very best girlfriend, a brilliant actress by the name of Roxanne Day, was in it. But it's one of those movies where it was an independent, very gritty. It was about the seedier side of, the porn industry and drugs and all that kind of stuff. And at the time, wanting to be a serious actor, it was exactly the kind of film that I wanted to be a part of. And the guys who wrote and directed that movie went on to win Academy Awards for, I can't remember the name of the movie. Julianne Moore was the lead in one of their more recent films. and she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. So a great, people to have been associated with earlier on in their careers. But I remember that was just a big break for me at the time, and such a cool thing to get to do, this real gritty, sort of dark, sordid film. My mom thought because of the title, she thought it was about farting. She thought it was like a gross comedy, like a fairly, because we used to, when I was little, we, instead of saying fart was like a bad word, we have to say I fluffed. And so she thought it was like some comedy. I'm like, Mom, this is definitely not a comedy. You probably don't want to see it. But a movie,
we couldn't say fart either. We used to have to say backfire.
Yeah, so there you go. That's even more clever. But yeah, that came out again. That was probably 20 years ago. But a cool. I remember that was my favorite magazine at the time was Interview magazine, and it was started by, I think, Andy Warhol in the 60s.
Yeah.
They did this big feature with me in Interview magazine, and I still have clippings from the magazine saved. But yeah, it was a cool experience, and there's so many of the actors that were in that movie you would recognize, or they've gone on to do really big, things.
Along the
I
way.
turn on Will and Grace, and there's one of the guys, or I turn on, any number of movies, there's another one of the guys, and it's cool to have that in common with so many other impressive performers. But
Danilo saw the movie.
What's that?
Danilo in San Diego saw the movie.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, that came out. And it was, at the time, it only opened, when it opened, Harry Potter had just opened. And I think The Fluffer was released in like 2 or 3 markets. So it was opened in New York, LA, and maybe Chicago. So, yeah. But because of that, I remember it broke records on its opening weekend. It had the highest per screen average of any film in America at the time that it opened. And that was, we were all really excited about that. And again, kind of at the peak of the independent film scene and all of that stuff, on the heels of, different Quentin Tarantino movies and stuff. So it was a cool project to be associated with. But most importantly, like I said, my best friend to this day, Roxanne Day, I met her on that film, and we've been just the dearest, bestest of friends ever since. So it's amazing what these different experiences in entertainment will bring you, whether it's financial or recognition or just personal relationships.
That's right.
It's really a special industry to get to be a part of.
It really, really is. Absolutely. And when you think about it, what are some of those blessings that still bring you joy to inspire people in the way that you do through your craft and through your work, CUNIO? Some of the things you pause to really delight in that continue to, when you wake up each day, say, I'm going to go out there and do what I have to do to inspire people and bring them some joy through my art. I think that way with everything I do. I know you do too.
Absolutely.
What are some of those things that continue to bring you great blessing, joy, and inspiration through all of this, when you look back at all of the things you have done and continue to do?
Absolutely. I have to say, as somebody who's really struggled with managing my depression in the midst of the pandemic, this evening with you guys and everybody tuning in, and has been really done wonders to remind me of not only how lucky I've been, but how much there is to look forward to and to live for and to stay positive and hopeful about. Because even though things seem dire right now, like I said, the pendulum has to swing in the opposite direction eventually. Eventually, all the bad news we're getting is going to be replaced by some good news. And tonight, for me personally, was a really special reminder of that, and a reminder of how lucky I've been, and how much more we still have to do, just by being alive and getting to breathe another day. And, it's I think it's important to remember that however bad things seem in the immediate moment, they can always be better. And if as we talked about earlier in the night, if you look for good things, if you expect good things to happen, then good things will happen. So
absolutely. That's the best way to really think about it all. And there's one of the shots of the many times we've been together at public television. There's with Sean as well, and you guys were in the studio. This one was in New York at WNET 13.
Just up in Lincoln Center there. That was such a
studios. Right. When we had you in, you and Sean, and that was Under the Street.
Sean is my partner in crime for all the PBS station visits. And I don't know, you guys may or may not know this, but one of the most fun things about being associated with PBS and having a concert special on there as we did with Street Lamp, you know, for me and for Sean and I both, I think our favorite aspect of that was getting to travel around all over the country and visit the different PBS stations in person. And, you know, we'd of course do the call-in bits and the interviews and stuff like that. But we got to visit so many cities and meet so many wonderful people, and so many people like yourselves, Jims, that I'm still in touch with and have still stayed friends with, you know, from Houston and Connecticut and New York and New Jersey and Minneapolis, St. Louis. You know, it's not something that you expect in the moment, but it's been really neat to see how many of us have stayed friendly and stayed connected over the years. And it's one of the special things about being associated with PBS, that they foster such a familial experience, you know.
A lot of great comments coming in, everybody loving it, loving the show and the whole bit. It really, this is a nice comment here. Big one. All we see is the top of our heads. Thanks to CUNIO for spending this evening with us. Love it. He's sharing such interesting stories over his career, showing us all how multi-talented he is. Really like the story of his CUNIO name, of having 4 of you being CUNIO 4. All the videos shown tonight were amazing performances. Again, I appreciate CUNIO's outlook on life and how humble he has remained throughout his career. We are all impressed with CUNIO's talent. He's been inspiring this evening as well. I agree. And nice photos, Kathleen in New York City, and love getting to know your talented guests. My pleasure. Jennifer says this has been a great show. Merlin in Canada. Well, we've really enjoyed having you with us too. Christine Fairwood, you are the bomb. Looks, personality, huge talent. And then I showed this
great taste. I'll send you the $50 later.
That's it, exactly. And then of course this great shot of you and your mom. The love of mom is something special. I say so myself too. That's a really great shot. What was happening here?
So this, you know, I'm certainly no stranger to far out costumes and crazy looks. And this is something, this was from my experience getting to work with Teatro Zinzani, which for those of you on the West Coast and in the Midwest, Teatro Zinzani is they've been around for 22 years in the Northwest area in Seattle and San Francisco. Sadly, they had just opened in Chicago as well. And that's where I was headed when the pandemic happened. So everything's on pause. In fact, I have a whole trunk full of belongings. Prior to the pandemic, I had been in Seattle working with Teatro Zinzani, and I had put all of my apartment, 6 months of living in Seattle, into a road box that is now in a warehouse in Chicago somewhere, waiting for us to eventually open up again one day. But that was quite a lot of fun. It was, you know, very much like Cirque du Soleil, but a fine dining experience, but also live music and clowns. And it's a very much a 360-degree experience, and something that in the time of COVID, I'm very interested to see how we will come back, if entertainment like that will ever even be able to come back, because, you know, you're in the middle of this 130-year-old Belgian circus tent. People are eating dinner, you know, all the courses are coming out, there's waiters and servers, but then you have this world-class talent of acrobats and aerialists and, you know, the live band, and myself as sort of the musical guest, and the sort of the MC of the night, comedy as well. It's quite a unique 360-degree entertainment experience. And just, you look up, you look down, you look left, you look right, there's always something different and just insane happening, and such a fun time. And for me, having grown up in Seattle, having grown up in the Pacific Northwest, it was the first time that I've gotten to do a job that brought me home. So I got to spend, you know, all of the fall and the holidays, you know, from basically August of 2019 until February of 2020, I got to be home, got to be close to my family and close to friends and reconnect with people from high school, all the while getting to do the thing that I love most, getting to sing songs and stuff. And it was really, really cool. And I really hope that when we're on the other side of this thing, that shows like that get to reopen, because truly the most unique entertainment experience I think you can have. You know, it's not theater, it's not a concert, it's not just a circus, it's not a dining, it's all of those things at once. And it was really special.
Cool. Right.
Yeah. And fun and great, because again, the proximity, you know, my mom probably came and saw the show 3 or 4 times because she was 20 minutes away. I got my whole family, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles. I got to reconnect with people that I haven't, I've been 3,000 miles away from for, the last 20 years. So really special experience. And again, because I have so many friends and fans and people that know me from working in Chicago, where I did Jersey Boys, where Under the Street Lamp was based, I was so looking forward to going to Chicago with that same show, and really hope that when things open up again, we'll get to pick up where we left off, because I've got so many friends in Chicago that I can't wait to be near again.
Connect with. Absolutely. Yeah. That's where we're all fingers and toes crossed that we don't even return to normal. We go to something better.
Let's hope. That's the right attitude to have.
Absolutely. Empathetic, kinder, friendlier. We listen to each other, less divisive. Because we've talked about this on this show with some of the guests who have come through, that, this was sort of maybe a coming together of a divine, planet Earth and Mother Nature saying, we don't like the way things are going. We're going to throw a few big things at you guys.
Sure.
We've given you the gift of life. We've given you the gift of this beautiful planet. We're going to throw a few major things at you, because the tornadoes, the hurricanes, the earthquakes, the fires, and the floods aren't doing it. We're going to throw some bigger stuff at you. And the three entities came together and said, all right, let's see how these humans handle this. And are they going to rise from the ashes better and more empathetic, kinder, working together, collaborative, respecting? Because prior to this, everybody was saying, where's all the good people? Where's the nice people? What happened to respect and kindness and thank you and please and you're welcome? Everybody was complaining about that. And Now this happened. And now this is a great opportunity for everybody to
you and I were chatting pre-show a little bit. It's like it's certainly exposed some of the ignorance and some of the entitledness, some of the selfishness that we can be guilty of societally, and hopefully coming to the other side of this will engender more of what you're talking about, a willingness and a desire to treat each other with a little bit more kindness and a little bit more respect. And there's any number of things that you could point to that have steered us off course, but one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting to be aware of in the midst of the pandemic specifically was the ways in which, because we were forced to kind of contain ourselves, the way the environment responded positively to that, and I think you're right. I think there's something to this idea of this being a bit of a reset for planet Earth and those for the people that inhabit it. We have to remember that we're guests here in a way, as much as we are the top species or whatever. It's like we are here at the mercy of the land that we inhabit, and we have an obligation to treat it and each other with respect.
Right. And we're not really the ones that are always necessarily in charge either. We think we are.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I think that's a beautiful sentiment to kind of.
It is. It's a perfect to leave them with something really nice like this. And this was terrific, CUNIO. I'm so happy that you're able to join us here and all the viewers from around the world and spend some time, going back in time a little bit, talking about the early days and how you got into the business, some of your inspirations, your passions, what drives you, some of the things that you really believe in, why you love doing what you're doing, the projects that you have that you'd like to continue with. And just sharing some memories of us in those studios over the years. And we'll get together again. We'll break bread, pour wine soon, I'm sure. I look forward to doing that with you, my friend. And I hope this met all your expectations and you enjoyed your time with me as much as I have with you.
Thank you. Mutual. Like I said before, it's just such a privilege and honor to be included. You've got some real heavy hitters on this program. That's a testament to what the relationships you've cultivated in your career, and you're just the kindness and the love from all the fans out there. You guys are just lovely. So I appreciate being a newly christened Loveite. And look forward to doing this again sometime for sure.
It'll be awesome. And look, you got some great comments wrapping up here. The Lovities love you. We love you. You're a great guy. CUNIO, you have a new fan. Thank you, CUNIO, for sharing your life stories and talent with us. Thanks, CUNIO and Jim. Thank you, CUNIO, for sharing your life story with us. Bye, CUNIO. Thank you for everything.
Go to sleep, Willie.
Well, yeah, I tell her that all the time. It's like 4 a.m., 4 a.m. And in British Columbia, Canada, hello from Crystal and Michael Ray. Very well-spoken young man. Enjoyed this afternoon immensely. The Lovity Show. Jennifer, thank you so much, CUNIO, for learning more about you and hearing your songs. Thank you, Jim. My pleasure. Good stuff. Lots of love. Ann in SoCal says, have a blessed week, everyone. You as well, Ann. My friend, this was really great catching up. We never really have had opportunities like this because we're always doing our thing in studios and everything. And this was really, really cool. And the door is always open. You're welcome back anytime, my friend. And I wish you nothing but continued success, best of health and happiness.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. This was an absolute joy and a delight. So thank you.
Willie's not going to bed, she said. She likes it too much.
Right.
3:30 a.m. She's a trooper in Holland.
She's a night owl, my kind of gal.
That's it.
She's one
All
of
right.
them.
And Crystal in Connecticut says bye. She's seen you on public television many, many times. Look forward to hearing more of your music. Renee in Iowa, great show. Dynamite from Danilo in San Diego. Lots of good stuff. All right, my friend, really a cool night. It was really great hanging with you. Thanks for coming on the show and spending all this time with us. We really, really appreciate it, my friend.
Yeah, it was a joy. I thank you so much.
All right, you take care. You be well. We'll see you again soon.
You too. Look forward to it.
All right. Bye-bye now. Wasn't that cool? Great guy, very talented. You got a chance to really sample some of his music and some of his experiences. Like he said, we've known each other for a long time, really through the relationship through public television, which I've been with for a long time and have always enjoyed and continue to enjoy working with the team at public television, and great programming and great shows and great artists as well. And one of the hats that I wear in this industry of television and radio, and just love it. It's really cool. It's great hanging with him. And when I told him that I was doing this show, he was one of the first that said, let me know when and where, and I'll get on. Just you name the date, Jim. So it was cool. So we're having a lot of really cool times here on the show, aren't we? With all of you. You guys are amazing with your comments too. And you know me, I'm very interactive. I like to show all the comments, or as many as I can, during the conversation and during the material that we show, because I know it really, gives you a little tingle when you know that I'm seeing what you're saying, and I read everything, or as much as I can. And even the comments that come after too, and the comments that come on YouTube and the archives and on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I love it all, and it's really great. And he and I are kindred spirits in many ways, and just as far as how we think about the world. Matter of fact, if you notice, a lot of these guests, there's a lot of kindred spirit nature going on here with how we think about the world, hopefully being more empathetic, kinder, getting along. It's very important, and to live authentically and just have a great time and be good to each other and do the right thing, and some basics, and we love it. Linda says, you are amazing, Mr. Loverty. All of us love you. Well, I love you guys too, and I'm glad that you're being informed, educated, entertained by all these shows. Keep spreading the word. Let's have as many people as possible tune in and experience the Jim Master Show live as you guys have. I mean, a real core group of people that go out of their way to watch and support and comment and share and tag and have watch parties. I think that's cool. I think you're all amazing as well. You are very generous to your fans. Thank you very much, and I really, really appreciate that. Good guest has you. I enjoy. Thank you, Willie. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. Carla, Jim, as every episode, one more incredible night. Thanks. An excellent week for you and all. Thank you, Carla, there in South America and Brazil. We appreciate that. And you as well. I hope you have a beautiful week ahead. And we'll be here for you every night as well. Jennifer says, thanks, Jim. My pleasure. And Christine, I like the name Lovities that he coined. You like that? Thank you very much. That is the word that I coined a couple of weeks ago by accident. I was saying light, levity, and love, or love and levity, and slipped up, and lovity came out. And everybody just caught that word, and they said, keep it, keep it, keep it. Just want to show you a couple more guests that are coming up. This was a terrific, terrific night. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun. We have a lot of fun every night. Even if we don't have a guest, we have a lot of fun together. And that's what I love, and that's the way the show is designed. Great comments coming in. Good night. You're a good guy. Thank you, Marcia. Appreciate that very much. Kathleen in New York City. Good night, Jim. Hope you had a good weekend. Good night, all. You as well. I appreciate that. I want to show you some of the guests that are coming up. We're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, legendary film director, producer, screenwriter. He was also in Rocky. This is the famous Lloyd Kaufman. If you don't know that name as a household name, you're going to know a lot of his work. He is amazing. He can't wait to be on. He is my guest. He's an industry veteran in the movie industry, television, so much more. And he's going to be a barrel of laughs. He's really a good guy. And again, he's been a part of so many incredible movies and so much more as a film director, screenwriter, personality, and so much more. He's amazing producer and more. Tomorrow night, he's with us exclusively on the Jim Masters Show Live. Tuesday night, from America's Got Talent, this is the 6th season winner. This is Lando Eugene Murphy Jr. That's right. He's going to be performing live on the show tomorrow. It's going to be not Tuesday, that is. Lloyd Kaufman is tomorrow. Tuesday is the incredibly talented. He's a jazz singer. He's really, really talented. He's all excited to be here on the show. I'm really happy that he can make time for us. We actually moved a few things around in our schedule. We had something else planned for Tuesday night, but we were speaking with his representatives and with him, and we made an opening for him for this Tuesday, so you guys can enjoy him, especially because America's Got Talent is on the air right now on NBC. So he's going to be here. He's the winner of season 6 of America's Got Talent on NBC. And this is, again, Lando Eugene Murphy Jr., a brilliant singer, cool guy. He's here this Tuesday. And then, boy, we're going to have a lot of fun. This is so cool, isn't it? I don't know if you saw this before. This is David Malik. He's a professional magician and entertainer. Beloved. He's been doing it for decades. He's really a riot. He's very talented. And I've always loved magic since I was a kid. So we're going to have a lot of fun with him on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern. All the shows are 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific live here on the same bat channel, YouTube at Jim Masters TV, Facebook at Jim Masters TV. And now I'm going to disappear into David. How that happens, I don't know. This is amazing how we got this cut out. So David, David is the guest on Wednesday, professional magician and entertainer. We thank again our fantastic friend CUNIO for joining us here. Many of you learning about him for the very first time, which is cool. He's got some powerful voice, huh? Really, and he puts a lot of energy and passion into everything he does. Again, I've known him for years from his years on being associated with the gang at Under the Straight Lamp. Of course, you've seen that fantastic group, which still continues to perform on public television and elsewhere with their concerts. But again, he's carved out a brilliant career as well. And it was cool to have him tonight and share all this time with us, and a lot of laughs and toasts and just a lot of levity tonight. Really, really cool stuff. So again, thanks guys for being with us. As you know, always here on the show, lots of comments coming in. Everybody's saying good night. And I predict a lot of laughing tomorrow night. Absolutely. I remember watching him as he competed. Oh yeah. Lando on America's Got Talent, season 6 winner. Yeah, he was really, really, really good. And now I go to bed. Good night, everyone. Have a good evening, Jim, and enjoy your meal. Thank you very much. You too, Willie. Good night, everyone. Still early on the West Coast and going for a swim as well. We are going to we still have to announce our viewer of the week. We have a viewer of the week that we need to announce. Yes, I don't know if you're still with us, everybody. We were going to announce our viewer of the week. And get ready. Here comes the viewer of the week announcement. And if you miss it, we'll announce it again. You know, if somebody isn't with us now and maybe they've left for the evening, I want to let you know that our special viewer of the week, somebody who's been with the show for a very long time and has followed my career in a lot of different areas on public television too. Our very special guest our very special viewer of the week, as we say thank you to Willie for being viewer of the week all week, wearing the crown beautifully all around the world. We love having Willie be our viewer of the week. Thank you, Willie. You were amazing representing us there in Europe and Holland and the Netherlands. Our viewer of the week, we're going to announce it right now, as we mentioned. I just remembered to do it. We've had such a good night with conversation here. The viewer of the week for this week, get ready, drum roll please, Christine Fairwood. Christine Fairwood, you are the viewer of the week. I think you've been with the show very close to the very beginning of our show, some 14 to 15 weeks ago. And you have also followed me on television on the various shows I've hosted over the years, and on radio as well, on iHeartRadio. And you have been very, very supportive of the show and watching and being here almost every night and commenting. And Christine Fairwood, congratulations to you. Willie now probably maybe not wanting to relinquish the crown. She's probably hanging on to it. We'll have to get just crowns for everybody, right? But Christine Fairwood, congratulations to you. You are in Connecticut, and you are this week's Jim Master Show Live Viewer of the Week. Again, you've been very supportive and been just with it since the beginning. I think very close to the beginning when you found out I was doing this Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. You've been here since the beginning and almost every night, and commenting and sharing and posting on, Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and everything. Many of you have been doing that as well. And I hope I can make all of you eventually viewers of the week as we go along. Again, continue sharing the links. Tell everybody about the show. Let them know we're here. They can see all the episodes in the archive, as can you at Jim Masters TV. Share those links as well. Feel free to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We love that. A lot of people have been subscribing to the channel. The guests, the friends of the guests, the viewers, other people stumbling on it. And that's really, really terrific. We're building that up big time. Got a lot of exciting plans for this show and for everything that we're doing. And with you guys here as part of the team, the Lovity team, I think it's really cool. I just think it's awesome. So celebrating our viewer of the week, Christine Fairwood. You are from Connecticut, USA. You are, thanks all. Absolutely. Congratulations, Christine. You're the viewer of the week. You can go into the supermarket now this week and say, you know what? I am the Jim Master Show Live Viewer of the Week. And then somebody in the line is going to say, well, what's that? And then you can say, turn on YouTube and Facebook, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and watch this cool show every night called the Jim Master Show Live. So, but you've been following me on television and radio for years as well. Christine, blessings to you. Congratulations. And Kathleen Walker, who was Viewer of the Week, she congratulates you as well. Yay, Christine. Congrats. I know it's a big role to hold. The crown has now been given to Willie beautifully, and Renee gave it to Willie giving it to you, and we've had so many viewers of the week over the last 14, 15 weeks. It's been very cool. Yikes, thanks. That's it. I'm sure you will wear that crown with pleasure and in good style. That's for sure. And good form. Congratulations, Christine from Crystal. See, everybody's so supportive. Congratulations. And if I could make all of you, I would, but we have time. Congratulations. And Renee, congratulations as well. And Pamela Perkle. Yay, Christine. And Willie now takes the crown and gives it to Christine. And you wore that crown beautifully there in Holland. We love it. You were very, very terrific. Everybody that's been designated Viewer of the Week has been terrific. I wish we were all together because we could all go out to eat and we can toast and celebrate. But, that's not happening right now with everybody. But we'll toast Christine Fairwood, who is our new Viewer of the Week. Again, something special that we created when we started this show is to celebrate viewers who watch the show regularly and care about it and support it. And They will all be jealous at the Big Y. That's right. You go tell people at the Big Y supermarket that you are the Jim Masters Show live viewer of the week. That is, we're going to have to get some, again, we are working on different things. I know people have asked about t-shirts, mugs, hats. We're working on it. I'm working with a designer who's putting some cool things together. We don't want to rush it. We want it to look good. So there you go. There's your crown. That's for you, Christine Fairwood. You've got the crown. Willie, we are top fans, but Facebook doesn't know it yet. LOL. Yeah, you guys are. I don't know how they designate top fan on Facebook. That's interesting. I don't know what they do, how that works. I don't know if it's the amount of time that I think you have to like the page. If you've been invited to like the Facebook page but haven't clicked like fully, sometimes some people think that they've liked the page because they're on it and they can comment. But if you haven't fully liked, clicked like on the Jim Masters TV Facebook page, then maybe it doesn't count when you're posting. I'm guessing at that. I'm thinking about that. But hopefully they'll make you guys top fans, because to me, all of you are top fans. You Love Tulips, Rotterdam is my favorite place. Yeah, we were just there last year on a TV shoot. Linda, ha ha ha. Yes, Big Y. They're going to really love you there. Francis, good to have you with us. I'm late. Good night, folks. We'll catch up soon or later. Hope everyone is well. Pretty big storms here this week. Storms everywhere. Our power went out 3 times today, and there's not a single storm in the area. The internet kept going on and off, on and off. We had to reboot the modem constantly. I was like, we've got a show to do. We can't, we were thinking about doing a pop-up show earlier today, but the internet and the power was so weird and flaky and freaky. This year has been something else, huh? This year has got enough. 2020. We got the point. We got the message. 2020. You can. You've had your fun. 2020. Go away. Bring on 2021. Hopefully 2021 will be better. Lovely t-shirts. Yes. Everyday contact. So I think you got to like the page, maybe the Facebook page. You've been top fan twice, but then it goes away after a week. That's odd. Mark Zuckerberg, our friend, if you're watching, power back on almost 7 days. I know you've been through rough storms there. The Dorico, some people say Derico, but the Dorico that went through that inland hurricane. I was watching some YouTube videos that people in the area there in Iowa and Illinois. I love watching the storm chasers, the meteorologists that go and they chase the tornadoes and other crazy weather. I've always loved weather. I was a weatherman, actually, a substitute weatherman on a TV station once, and it was AccuWeather. So I've always loved weather. I've had an interest in weather, and I love watching, I don't know if I would ever be one of the storm chasers. Those people have a lot of gumption. I mean, they live and breathe it. And especially in the Midwest and the South, they're chasing those storms. I think it's pretty cool stuff. I love watching the videos on YouTube that are with the storm chasers when they're chasing a tornado. There's one guy, is it Pico Hank? I think he's out of Texas. He's really incredible. His videos are well done too, and he gets up close and personal to the tornadoes, and then just think about the storm chasers or the folks that fly into the middle of a hurricane to get the readings. You got to have a lot of fortitude to be able to do that. But that was incredible. We have liked your page. It's Facebook. 2020, run away. Keep you on your toes, Mr. Lovety. Weird about storms. Kansas City has been calm. Oh, there's been storms all over the place. It's been strange. Really. It's cool here. Today was in the 70s. We went from the 90s to the 70s. Really, really beautiful. You have to post on his page outside of his lives. Yes, storms crazy all over the United States. You lost power now from last night's storm. Sorry, you had power on. Yeah, 3 times it went on and off, but then the internet kept going in and out. It was unbelievable on everything. The laptops, the televisions, the phones, the PC. So it was on throughout the entire show tonight. That's cool. I do like when you like thunderstorms, nice and cozy. I like when it rains at night. You know, when you hear the rain at night, that's kind of cool. In Southern California, 107 degrees today. Holy cow. Whew, that's crazy. No to chasing storms. Going for cover, yes. Watched lightning hit neighbor's air conditioner, and then they ran out of the house. My computer zapped out that night also. I know, it's crazy. People don't realize that if you have those outside air conditioners that stick out of the windows, or the big units, that attracts the lightning. So do golf courses and swimming pools, and cool stuff. Nice comments from everybody here. Yes, one big happy family. Good stuff. Good stuff. A show that was designed to only be an hour 15 weeks ago has become this nightly sleepover, or whatever it is. It's like we're having a campfire, or you're in my living room, or I'm in your living room, or whatever it may be. It's really cool stuff. It's unique, isn't it? And we're here every night. That's what makes it even more unique. And I realize not everybody can be here every single night, but a lot of you are, and that's amazing. Eddie Rabbit, I love the rainy nights. I love the sound of rain on a tin roof. Grew up on that. Florida rains every day, usually around 2 o'clock, right? You got to run and duck for cover. You could be having a picnic outside, and then all of a sudden, boom, and then in 10 minutes, it dries up as if it never happened. Yes, feeling terrific. How about you? Are you zen? I know you like to be zen, Jen. You always like to be zen. I hope you're zen. You guys like when we do this talk back, right? We'll do it for another couple minutes, and then we'll wrap up so you guys can go about. See, CUNIO was concerned about you guys, Willie getting sleep and getting food, and he told me before we went live, he said, he's a talker, and you can stop me at any time, I'll talk. And I said, CUNIO, we've been in TV studios together. You and I, we were both talkers. Thankful your power stayed on steady for the show tonight. And I'm thankful that you made it through those rough storms there in North Carolina. Yeah, I've been seeing, the commentary on Facebook there, and rough stuff in the Carolinas as well. And 2 nights ago, we were to get hit again. And before bed, I prayed that it would miss us, and we had enough. Yeah, you guys, the video I saw it on YouTube, because I was searching, Dorico and then Iowa after you told me about it, Renee, and I was seeing the video that people captured trees being ripped down. But we had that here too the week before with that Hurricane Isaias. Not here. We are lucky here, but the whole Northeast and East Coast. At 1 a.m., when you got the weather alert on your phone, the radar showed the storms just above and below the town, and you're in this circle of clear weather, like it parted around you, so you were spared. That's great. Now at night in Florida. Oh, is that how it has to work? I go and then you sleep. Otherwise you won't sleep because you enjoy this too much, Willie. We're going to go. Yes, Zen, couch surfing, LOL. That's cool. Yesterday it rained while the sun shined only in Florida, LOL. St. Augustine, yes, beautiful area. Beautiful area. Viewer of the week, again, we celebrate Christine Fairwood of Connecticut. Great opportunity to celebrate with her and all of you tonight. We hope you have a great week coming up. I was telling my mom today about your show and all your guests, going to show her a bit next time as I see her. Yeah, you can watch it all in the archives at Jim Masters TV. We get a lot of views on YouTube after the show airs. In the archives, which I think is fantastic. Well, I promote it, you guys promote it, the guests do, and that's what it's all about. She's up to it. She smiles when I mentioned you. Well, give her my love, your mom, Kathleen, and hope everything, is good for you guys, and you have a beautiful week. And I send you love and blessings, Kathleen, my friend. CUNIO doesn't know how we stay till the end. Some are all-nighter folks like you. We get so ramped up from the show's energy. What was really beautiful about what CUNIO shared was how he had been depressed and he wasn't feeling well, and there's nothing going on. Everything has stopped for so many people. I mean, I'm not doing 75% of what I normally do too, because there's nobody's really flying and the TV shoots and everything. So still doing, but not what I even normally do as well. And that's the majority of people, I think. People are just doing a lot of different things in a different way now. But he was talking about how he was down in the dumps and he was so excited to be on the show with all of us, and it lifted his spirits. That's pretty cool to have him say that, right? I appreciate him saying that and sharing that with us. Give him those creative juices to keep going. And I think that's what's happening for a lot of the guests who've been coming on, who've been just opening up and sharing. Some of them have been really emoting in ways that are amazing for the longest time. And, you know me, I don't cut anybody off. Let's just have a good conversation and roll. Some guests go a little longer. Some guests are a little shorter. I feel it out. I can gauge when it's time to wrap. Even with me, well, it's amazing. I can gauge when it's time to wrap with the guest, but I've got to learn to gauge when it's time to wrap with me. That I think I need to do, work on that one. Yes, but I think he perked up with our show, which is beautiful. He was so excited to be on tonight, really, and I was so happy to have him here. Then those of us that stay on even later when someone else comes on to sing late at night. Night owls, absolutely. Really light tonight. You missed dinner. First 9:50. Is there a snack? It's a good thing you missed dinner because you're viewer of the week. See, if you went away and you had the dinner, you wouldn't know you're viewer of the week. Maybe there's a snack. Can you make a peanut butter sandwich, or you got a Pop-Tart anywhere you can toast? Or they? I think all the restaurants, everything's closed right now unless it's fast food. This is the same for all of us. He should do Facebook Lives. We should follow him. Just 30 minutes would do him wonders. Yeah, he and I are in touch a lot, which is great. And I think this show did it. This show perked it up. So good stuff, everybody. Love you all. And Ann says, I was at In-N-Out Burger drive-thru for the last hour. Glad I was listening uninterrupted. So you must have been watching on your phone then, right? You had your phone on while you were in the In-N-Out drive-thru? Yeah, In-N-Out drive-thrus, some of them. I was at one in the Los Angeles area, actually Burbank. I was on a TV shoot in Burbank last fall. And for the TV News Magazine show I host in New York. And I went to the very first, friends of mine took me to an In-N-Out Burger in Santa Clarita. Yeah, Santa Clarita, California. It was Santa Clarita. Delicious. It was really good. And then when I was in Burbank last year, we were at the Paramount Studios with a friend. And then we had a TV shoot in Burbank, and we went to In-N-Out Burger in LA, in Burbank, and it was good. But the lines wrap around the building twice. Really, really popular. Good stuff. Yes, we perked them up. The Lovities, we all get perked up. Not every day is perfect. So we're here to perk each other up. Love you all. Good night. Sleep well. God bless you all. Don't forget to relax, breathe, take care of one another, love one another. This is something we do here exclusively on the Jim Master Show Live. Yeah, just take care of one another, do whatever you can. Not every night isn't going to be great. Every day isn't going to be great. But take a break from the news once in a while. I mean, be up on the news, but take a break from it once in a while and just hang out, and plant that garden or tend to the garden, write that book, read a good book, watch our show. We're here every night. Relax, breathe. We're still building the show, tweaking the show, a lot of ideas, a lot of cool things. The show has just expanded beyond anything I would have ever believed, and I was only going to do it for a short time, but we're loving doing it. As long as you guys are there, we're going to keep doing it. I might be the star of the show, the host and producer, but I think you guys are the stars as well. You and you and you and you and you. You guys are all the stars of the Jim Masters Show. That's right. Even if I did this, or this, you're still the stars. Willie usually waits for this. She likes the blue star. There it is. I knew. See, Willie, you saw the star. I know you like the star. There it is. Yes, Jerry sent you the book. I knew he was going to do that. He told me he was going to do that. And I read the book already. He sent it to me weeks ago before I had him on. Good night, Jim boy. You got your star. See, there's the blue star, Willie, for you and everybody here. Good night, everybody. We're going to take off. Looking forward to being with you all as well. This is a lot of fun, isn't it? We've created a lovely family here, and all the guests seem to enjoy it, and you guys enjoy it. Just keep spreading the word. Keep spreading the word. And we'll have a lot of folks. You know, there's a lot of things on. There's a lot of things on the internet now, and there's a lot of things on social media. There's a lot of things on TV and Netflix and everything. So the fact that we're building this and all of you guys are here is really cool because there's so many things going on at once. So this is really cool, sort of cutting through there and building a fabulous family of lovities, positive, a lot of positive energy here. Good stuff. Love you all. Stars from Willie and hearts from Renee. I look forward to being with you as well. All right, gang, we're going to sign off. This is your host, Jim Masters, as always, thanking you for your time this time till next time, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. Fabulous Lloyd Kaufman's going to be here, the film director and producer, screenwriter. He was in Rocky and so much more. Good night, Moon. Really, really nice. Crystal Nolan. Good night, Jim and everyone. Have a fantastic week. I enjoyed the show. As the host and producer, I am very happy. I've done my job. Cool stuff. Love it. You know, I always try to make this entertaining and informative however I can, you know. We're out of the home studio too, so I'm glad you guys enjoy it. Bye-bye. Hearts. 4 a.m. Good night, Willie. Even CUNIO said good night. Go to bed. Good night, gang. We're going to sign off. Love you all. Take care. Be well. Hope you have a good start to your day tomorrow. We'll be here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. We are here every night with light, levity, and lovity on the Jim Masters Show Live, entertainment, lifestyle, talk show series. You can find us on YouTube at Jim Masters TV. Subscribe to the channel. We love that. And on Facebook at Jim Masters TV as well. From everybody here, including George, Jeannie, Silver, and Jimmy. And we're waiting for Gilligan. That's right. We have Gilligan coming. I Dream of Denver. That's going to be fantastic. You're shipping a Gilligan doll. She wants him to be a part of the cast of characters here of Lovities. So Gilligan is going to be here, and I think he's going to arrive this week. We'll have to check our mail. Night, exactly. And night, Christine. Thanks for being with us, and have an amazing good night. Good night, Gracie. You got it. Wasn't Samina De Laurentiis terrific when she did the Gracie? If you didn't see that episode, we had so many laughs from the Seven Angels Theater artistic director and actress. That was a hoot. I got such a beautiful letter from her that she sent to me, an email. She loved being on the show, as did Carla, Christina Contreras, as did Randy and Ann Dorman last night, and all the guests. I always get these emails right after how much they enjoyed themselves here on the show and enjoyed all of you, which is beautiful and a blessing. All right, gang, we're going to sign off again. That's about it. That's a wrap for this episode. You have a wonderful rest of your day or evening. If you're just starting the day, hope you have a great day. And keep telling your friends about the Jim Masters Show Live. We'll be here tomorrow night, same place. If you're not here tomorrow, you can see everything in the archives. We'll catch you on the next one. If you are here tomorrow, that'll be great. I'll have a good time. Good night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Love you all. Bye-bye.